almost there. We passed the castle.
Oh, good on. Oh, hang on. Are you putting a dress in every layer?
Yeah, of course.
No way. I want to play the proper one. None of this present in every layer.
Hello, yes we are. At least I think so. Let me turn off the TV. This is too
What
loud.
about everyone else?
Oh, right. I am. Okay, I'm kind of on screen. I don't know how to whiten the screen, but I think that's going to have to do for now. Hello. We're kind of back. And grown. Welcome back, X. Good to see you again. It's Saturday, right? Happy Saturday. I got plans today, but first we got to do a little whipping in the kitchen so I can have this done and actually enjoy my day. So if this isn't done first, it's going to be a very long day for everybody. At least I think so. Yeah, that's stuff to do. No, this actually isn't a cooking show. I'm making skincare, but I'm whipping it. So that's what I'm doing today. But also talking to you guys. But I would love to do a cooking show. We actually have a full kitchen now to use, so that'd be cool. Cooking with Brian. I'll think about that one, possibly. Oh my goodness, hello, Cynical One. Welcome back. Good to see ya. So long story short, I tried to go live on TikTok using like my camera set up in my laptop. It did not work. So I thought I might as well use a platform I can go live on, get a little bit of, yes, we don't do that here. Not on camera, at least. Not on camera. But yeah, I think the best thing to do is just use the platform I know the best, which is YouTube. So yeah, I did try to stream using my camera setup, not, just my phone. Because I can go live on TikTok just using my phone because I have a business. But yeah, there's no way I can just do this really nice StreamYard setup on my, what am I trying to say? On my phone. Using just the computer, so I had to reapply to be able to do it like this because this gives like the best quality and everything looks really, really good. But as you see, I got everything set up. I got my containers, my little cute background, and I didn't want it to essentially go to waste. So I got all of this set up to do a TikTok stream that did not happen. So we're going to use the platform again that we know and love very well. So yeah, and again, it's summer. I'm wearing shorts. No one judge me. But we got to get started because I don't have a lot of time, but I have just enough time to do what I need to do. We're going to do a quick zoom in so that I can grab a few things. Quick little zoom in. So again, wearing shorts because it's summer, but I don't want to be judged. Put where you're from in the chat. I know most of you guys that pop in here first. Washing my hands. Maybe I'll clean with sanitize. Mika said hi to everyone. Hi, X. Hi, Cynical. Hi, everybody else popping in. Washing my hands. All right. Like that. I believe I have everything set up. If I forgot something, I will find out in just a moment, actually. I'll know as soon as I start what I forgot or didn't grab. All right. Let's get some gloves on. And before I put the second glove on, I will straighten up this camera. Everything is wiped down, but, you can never be too careful because this is skincare, So, I got one glove on. We're going to, I don't know what you want to call it. Put that over there. So, first glove, the second one on. Then I'll just see what you guys are talking about in the chat. So I got both of those on. I got my bowl. Funny enough, even though I'm making skincare today, this could probably be some really good practice for when I want to do other things. So I got my recipe over here on this side. Gotta keep that hidden. All right, let's turn on my scale. My scale is underneath my big bowl. So yeah, this could be good practice for the cooking show. So I'll keep that in mind, So if you guys may not be able to see it, but this one says butter on it because I have a scrub recipe. And it's very hard sometimes to tell what's what. So I always, especially it's been like, a day or two? Definitely didn't want to forget what was what. So we got our I call it buttercream, but obviously you're not supposed to eat it. You're supposed to put it on your skin. So I'm going to use a sanitized stainless steel spoon and just put that in. And of course, there's a bunch of other ingredients. I'm going to grab those off to the side. Sorry, this may not be the best sound, like scraping metal. Alright, let's put that over. So I'm done using that for now. And get to the next ingredients. How you guys doing today? Anybody got plans tonight? Well, for you guys, it's like 5. Those of you on the East Coast, so it's a little bit later over there. So maybe you were already in the middle of your plans or done with them, but who knows? So, of course, that is... Because, yeah, we're going to whip in this big stand blender here. Adding that aloe vera. Anyone still in the chat? Anyone want to come up? The link is there if you want to come up. Let's talk about some random stuff today, but yeah. Right now, whipping in the kitchen. I need to call the cooking show something else if I really am going to do a cooking show. That'd be really cool to be able to cook live with you guys. And notice you guys are still loving that Thanksgiving video, and I even know how to make some of those recipes even better, so that'll be fun. And if I get to that point, okay. Don't think I can get anything else out of this jar. So let me okay, that one's done. So the next one. Getting laptop now. Alrighty. And again, this is going to be a slightly shorter one because it is Saturday. We do have plans, but again, when we're done, like literally being in the sun all day, the last thing I want to do is come back and whip. Because the funny thing is, we were out yesterday. I did not whip anything. I didn't even sanitize the jars. I was so darn tired. So at least I'm getting it done now before the plans start for the day. Hubby is up with the baby, so we got a little bit of time. Not much, you know. I'm doing my best with the time I have. Oh, sorry, that may not be the best sound. I'm going to mute this real quick. I got to tap the side of this stainless steel. All right, we are unmuted now. I'm going to give this a quick little residual blend just to break up everything that's in there. Of course, the same spoon I was using before. I'll use the other hand to open that just a tiny bit. Break it up now. You're going to wear yourself out. Everybody with that, she'll have you doing that all day. Well, again, luckily we got plans, so she'll have lots to do.
Bless you.
Maybe.
Uh-oh.
Nice. Like one down. No, mama. Hi, baby. Don't get on camera, pretty girl. Did the alarm wake you up, or did you wake up on your own?
I slept in my alarm.
Grew it? What time supposed to be up?
11:21.
Nice. How's struggling? It's too, my love. I don't know how that happened. No, I'm saying you just usually don't sleep that long. That's all I meant. I bet you did something bad. Huh? Mm-hmm. No, I get it. I'm saying you're not the type to usually. I am the one to sleep the alarm, not you. Is all I meant.
Usually force myself up.
Mm-hmm. That's saying I wasn't trying to bother you. I was just wondering where you went at first, and then got your old bottle, and there you were.
You knew where I was?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you knew where I was.
I want to look for you. You know, when I went upstairs, every door was open except for that room. I mean, your house is big, but goodness gracious. There's only a few places you could actually be resting. Oh, did you lift up the mattress in the guest room yet? It needs to get off the floor. That one more scrape, and then I will grab the rest of the things that need to be blended in here. It's not quite smooth yet. And then, yeah. Did she have the juice? Hey, that's not the juice I gave her this morning. I gave her a different bottle this morning. Switch. Alright, you guys. I don't see anybody up here yet. Oh, that's looking much better. Switch this one out. Yeah. Much creamier. Woo-hoo. Mm-hmm. Creamier.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Going well.
Good.
Turn the volume. Okay, now say something.
So we're cooking with Brienne today. That's what we're doing.
Okay. I can hear you now. Oh no, I can hear your echo.
Oh, hold on. Let me try to fix that real quick.
Yep. Usually it's just when there's another device in the background. I hear the echo. And phone tablet. You got it? Nope, I still hear it. Let's see, get you one more time. Alright, you can unmute when you fix it. Right, you you guys. I'm gonna give this another little swirl. And remember, it's not food, even though it looks like it. Swirl. Just get everything mixed in, and then I'll really blend it. Hey! Wait, say something. Oh, okay. I don't hear anything at the moment. Are you able to turn your mic back on? Hello? Uh-oh. Maybe we lost him. Volume's all the way up. Let me mute, unmute. Okay, see if that helps. Oh no. Oh, I think we lost him. Okay. You can join. Click the link again. I think leaving and coming back will help it. Hi, pretty. What you whining for? I put myself on mute if you do that. Oh, I forgot about the pulse button. No scrapes. All right, you're free to click the link if you're just now joining. Right now we are whipping up some skincare today. Obviously, I'd like to do this in a slightly quieter environment, but today we're just home for a little while before we do our plans. And I thought, let's make some skincare real quick, and then we can move on with our day. I'm not going to want to do this and get back. You like that? Is that fun? Yeah. Those spots are going to get you. One more time? Oh, okay. Why are your arms up like that, pretty? I don't know what that means. Oh, yeah? Is that fun? Are you enjoying yourself? No, that's right. Yeah.
You like that?
It sounded like a wee. You're a little voice wee. So now it's time to add in more things. Hello, welcome. Tapioca starch. So now I got two. Oh yeah, open, yeah. Now we put this back on the scale. And the starch. Hi H&M, welcome in. Click the link if you like. It's a short one today. I'm just making a couple of skincare things, and then we're gonna pop on out of here. But obviously we have another 15 minutes, so still gotta type and put on labels. So feel free to join. Keep me busy while I work. Yeah, we're whipping in the kitchen today. Okay, I'm gonna take this off. We're adding the rest of the ingredients up on the side. All right, next. Alrighty. Hello.
Salute, Brienne, #1 fan. Always cooking like a frying pan.
Hello.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfect.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right, good. I didn't have to turn my fan off. What up, hustler?
What's good? Speaking of cooking, what you cooking, Brienne?
Oh, I am making skincare today, but I should cook. That's what Extra said. He was a cooking show.
Don't worry, hustler. I already gave Brienne the warning of no cooking with Brienne with that whole twerking in the camera. I already gave her the warning. It's all right.
Right.
Well, she's not a twerker. Come on, you know she better than that.
Wait,
Cooking
I'm
Unless
not
her husband.
Cooking with Brienne. Like I was getting ready to hear it too. I saw the mixer in the background. I'm like, oh no, we're going that route now.
I'm not
Like,
a
don't worry.
twerker on camera.
She's like, nah, we're not going that direction. That's not what we doing over here. I'm like, it good. I started getting scared a little bit because once cooking shows start, you know how it be going, hustler. You know how they do.
No, not really.
Oh, you don't watch them? That's always
No, I don't. I really don't either. You know, I might be the kind of person that gets accused of watching it, but nah. Once you've seen one, you've seen them all.
They all came to the same.
I don't be watching that. I'm too good for that. Definitely. So what up with you, Hustler? How you been?
I'm all right.
Anything new?
Yeah. Just trying to grow my platform.
Grow. I'm sorry. Wait. Grow
Just
your
did a
what?
show. Trying to grow my YouTube platform. I just did a show yesterday.
Yeah. YouTube is getting harder these days. I don't know like what be going on, but I mean, you kind of can guess if you're not willing to sell out, it's going to be a little difficult. What'd you focus on your platform?
And I just talk about what's going on as far as the world, the market, the whole nine. I covered the whole Travis Hunter situation yesterday.
The Travis Hunter situation?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I heard didn't he just get married recently?
Yeah, to that girl he met on Instagram who at first said he was not her type. He was not her type at first.
Well,
left him on red for a whole month.
Probably won't be her type.
And people are saying this is a traditional relationship. I'm like, how is it a traditional relationship? She was never with the man. She never really liked the man from the beginning. And she didn't start liking him until after he got that $1 million contract with the NFL. And even the family was on to the BS.
Oh, his family?
I'd be on to some BS as well. I always think it'd be on some BS. Like, no, don't get married, man. He's gonna find out real quick. Like, she's gonna tell him, Travis, I'm just not feeling it anymore. He's gonna be like, what you mean you're not feeling it no more? I haven't changed. And she'd be like, yeah, and therein lies the problem. And boom, file for divorce. And he's gonna be crying in the camera. I loved her. Yeah, that's how it always go. And as always, it's gonna be his fault. I mean, I'm not wishing that.
Yeah, he chose her.
If you what?
I said, yeah, he chose her.
Oh, and that's the thing. I mean, we got to talk about, a guy taking his own personal responsibility, so if he ends up getting divorced, it's his own darn fault. I mean, again, everybody wants to find that love, that's what people have been talking about since, 2013 on this platform? And that's what people want to do. But when you bring money into the equation, I mean, I don't think I've ever found a single time on the internet where there's no switch up as soon as you disclose something about the moolah, the bacon. As soon as you make that disclosure, magically things change up. See, I'm scared. I got scared for Travis. I was driving in the car when I was listening to a podcast on that, and I was like, oh, no. Excuse me. How you feel about it, Hustler?
As much as I want to get married, when I hear stuff like this, it just makes me wonder, is it even worth it? And some people say it's a traditional marriage because when we look back on what it was like married life in the 1940s and 50s, when you think about it, when men and women were married, but they felt like women had to do it because they didn't have access to their own resources. And plus, these people were messing around and humping around even back then, but they hid it better. So I guess a traditional marriage in a sense is you and a woman get married, start a family, but yeah, y'all still want to sleep around behind each other's backs and stuff like that, like just like it was going on back then. So what do you think of that narrative? Is that what traditionalism is about? X, Brienne?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, I was on mute. Traditionalism is about everyone knowing their biological and strength roles. So obviously, if the girl in the situation is stronger, she's going to do more of the strength-based things. But biologically, usually the girl is the one that's going to have the baby. So you have to take it easy when you're getting ready to get pregnant, and while you're pregnant, and after you have the baby. So whatever your role is, you fall into line with that for the majority of the time. Is all I believe traditionalism is. Anytime you go outside of that, there's usually some type of issue. Because most women I talk to, even though they're okay with working now, none of them, and I mean absolutely none of them, want to work as soon as they get married, but especially after they want to start having children.
Sorry about that. My mic was disconnected again. That's the problem with a USB mic. I gotta get a new laptop. So I wasn't ignoring you. Personally, me, I think what it boils down to is, well, first of all, I think I've said this in previous lives and previous panels. I'm for the unification of man and woman. That I've never been against that. Even when I spent my time in MGTOW and stuff like that, it was like a good 13 consecutive months of me consuming the stuff on the regular, and I had to admit to myself that it wasn't helping. Other than me staying angry, it wasn't helping me at all. I was depressed, and usually, if you look at some of the the symptoms, there we go. One of the symptoms of somebody who has major depressive disorder depression can manifest as anger as well, anger and irritability. And I started realizing it wasn't helping. So anyway, that being to the side, I have nothing against being with a woman. What I have something against is the government having any power or say so in the relationship. That's what I have the issue with. Because if you look backwards in time, if you look up the history of the state marriage license, it actually goes back to the Jim Crow days. And Jim Crow, I think Jim was short for Jimmy because that was the nickname for like a crowbar or something like that. And I forget what Crow was short for, but so the Jim Crow days was only really simply about the idea that those of the Caucasian persuasion should not be marrying those with melanated skin, if you did catch my meaning. Apart from that, all marriages before that had no piece of paper linked to it. Go backwards in time, and I think that's partially why it worked, is because I'll just say it again, like everybody's on their best behavior as long as you don't bring up money. As soon as you bring up money, people start looking at how they can backstab you. And I think that's exactly what's about to happen to Travis. He's going to have a honeymoon phase. Things are going to go down real good for a little bit. The woman be like, "Oh, I love you so much. I would never." And then one day you're going to see it in the headlines. Travis Hunter just got divorced from his sweetheart. And then all the YouTube channels are going to go crazy talking about how it's probably a race issue. And I like to say ethnicity. So pardon my speech. It's going to be all about, oh, well, he should have got with his sister. And people are going to be saying, well, wouldn't that make a difference? And then people end up in the same conversations as they usually do. That's what I think about it. It's the same loop over again, which really, if you think about it, violates YouTube's TOS for monetized channels to be talking about the same stuff over and over again on constant repeat. Let me check the chat. Let me make sure nobody's spamming the chat. All right, we're good. Oh man, it's been a while since we were live in the panel, and oh man, what wasn't it like the second to last live? It was like many moons ago. And we had people like coming at Brienne from like all sorts of angles. And I'm thinking like, what is this? And then Brienne goes to click on someone's camera and it was something, let's just say, completely inappropriate. And I remember that because she was so upset too. I
remember. Yeah, somebody P-bombed her some years back.
Oh yeah. So and that's the thing. Like, so now I always be like having my head on swivel now. It's not not even my live. Like that's one thing I've always like disliked. Like when it comes to like moderation and stuff is that when you're a mod, you gotta have your head on swivel, and I don't like it when a mod doesn't pay attention. I mean, yeah, once in a while, lean back, enjoy the show, but when people are able to post all sorts of triple X links in the comments and they're not doing nothing, I'm like, yo, why do you have the wrench if you're not going to do anything? Yeah, and I see that all the time, whether it's the wrench on YouTube or whether it's the sword on Twitch. And I think that's why there's a couple. I mod for 2 different streamers. One of them's been MIA now since October. The other person, he goes live sometimes at inopportune times, and I try to mod for him, and I be removing bots and stuff, which hasn't been happening in a while. But anyway, back to the main topic. I don't want to be the one that goes off on side tangents because I'm the king of doing that. But really, I think being with someone is worth it. It's just that it's always worth it to have love, because otherwise you live like me, and I can be quite the grump. You don't want to be like me. I joke that you should, but don't live
The
like me.
grump.
I'm very grump. I've been grumpy, since I've been dealing with the breakup of my past too. Like it, but I haven't been this. I'll say it myself that I think I have a brother. I got a half brother, and my blood brother, even though he's married across the United States in another country I won't name. Country. Oh my God, did I say country? Other state. He's across country on the southern border, but he's noticed that many people have noticed that ever since that breakup I told Brienne about, I haven't been the same, despite my best efforts to be the same. Because I don't know what healing looks like from that. I just stop thinking about it sometimes. But I just had a dream about her last night. Not the inappropriate kind, but the dream where she finally tells me why she left. That's been coming up an awful lot. So I would say, on average, despite my best efforts to not think of her, I've had probably a dream of her on average every other night for the last 3 to 4 weeks straight. And most of those dreams are against my will. Like I'll be falling asleep thinking about stocks and crypto and all sorts of ways of getting the money up, and then I'd be thinking about a dream, and then I just start dreaming of her. I'm thinking, you again? Why are you here? I feel like Clay Jensen in that show 13 Reasons Why, and I'm not going to explain fully what gets into that, but he has essentially his memory of the female lead, and he just sees her everywhere, despite the fact that in the beginning of season 1 she's already gone by the time episode 1 begins. That's how the lore goes. So
I see.
I'm sorry, am I cutting you off, Hustler? My bad. I see your thing moving.
No, it's all right. No, it's all right.
So I will tell you that I went from being like the teddy bear kind of dude. Yeah, that's how most females would describe me, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I got it from somewhere, and I go from that to just being cynical about everybody. So I had a woman talking to me about the breakup. I forget who it was, because it was 1 or 2 different people, and she even says, like, it seems like now that you're more cynical than ever before, and I'm like, huh. And I was smiling. I was in the conversation and everything. And because as soon as the breakup happened, it's kind of like a mental switch flipped. And I started to kind of believe all the Crimson Capsule stuff all over again. But then I also realized, well, this is only convenient for my anger, where deep down inside I'm angry and depressed. So now I'm everything mixed up. And the emotional roller coaster doesn't stop. I just stopped talking about it to most people. I just stopped bringing it up. I'm like, I still don't understand why I'm dreaming about this chick. I did find out one potential answer for why she left. Despite her claim that she didn't care how much money I made, I found out that she had skipped state and moved over to another state that's near to me. She moved across state lines, and she moved in with her neighbor from several doors down. I'm like, oh, now it makes sense, because when we first met, she asked me about, she looked me up and down, and one of her first statements to me, first extended statements was, you don't look like you have a really good job. And the only reason why I was able to stay around her for longer than that conversation was because I said, in my desperation to have female company, I said to her, "Well, are you dating me or are you dating my money?" And she said, touche, and that was it. But maybe deep down she cared this entire time, you know. So now it makes sense that she left the area that we were in my home state, and then she skipped states and now is sharing expenses with her female best friend now. And now those two are together splitting the bills, and that's probably what she was going through. And that's me just trying to humanize her because that's just my personality type. And by the way, I don't. Yeah, I know this comes up quite a bit, so I'm trying not to bring it up a whole lot. It's just really just a side conversation until something else comes up.
Yeah, it
You
makes
know
sense.
what we do all around the world?
Sorry, I had to go.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, it's all right. It's all right. But I'm finna go in the store. I'll be right back. I'm gonna hop back on shortly.
Okay. Now, I was thinking, on this channel, we go all around the world when it comes to conversations. But I think it started off with the cooking show, and I was like, does that still matter to men? Do you still have to know how to cook? Yeah. Oh, my husband's nodding his head. Not you. Men that are single. That's funny. He looked at me. He's like, yeah. And I'm talking about men. When you're I mean, obviously, when you're ready for that point, do you think, oh man, she can throw down in the kitchen? That's a bonus. Or is it not something you even think about when you're dating somebody? Is that what she said? Oh my god.
I thought it was
Oh, did you have to go 2x? I don't hear anybody.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Oh, I didn't know if you had to go to. I think H&M.
No, I was switching my USB port for my microphone because it keeps on switching off against my will, and then what StreamYard is doing is it's force muting me. I got all day. I got nowhere to be.
Okay.
So I had to take care of that very quickly. And now it seems like I am going smooth. But yeah, it's like, I like how we can talk about various topics. I actually want to ask you something about something you posted. It seems like eons ago.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm just filling up some water.
All right, no problem.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. You just sound far away. But I'm about to fix that right now.
There's a coffee. Hold up. Let me turn this so you can actually see what I'm probably doing with it. I was filling up a coffee maker with water, so I couldn't hear the last thing you said, but I was making sure you could see me. Okay. There's a max line. Oh, the max line is here. You need more coffee than this? Hopefully not. Goodness, be bouncing off the walls.
So what I wanted to ask you, Brienne, was when you posted that thing. Oh, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I want to ask you, when you posted that thing about how you want to start something with AI, did you ever get anywhere with that?
Oh my gosh, I almost totally forgot about that. I hit 12 and K, right?
Yeah, you talked about you wanted to do something with AI. You wanted to, do nothing but post things with AI for like 3 months or some amount of days. I forget how long.
So I was doing a challenge for 30 days. The first thing I did was CapCut. I paid CapCut for the entire year because it had so many, you get the yearly thing. You get so many features that you can't get otherwise. Essentially, I'm going to try to explain this as simply as I can because it confuses me still. You type in a prompt of what you want a video to be about. Without you having to get the images or get the video or get anything, it'll make a video for you just based off of words. So I thought that was absolutely crazy to start. And let me add H&M while I finish my little monologue. So pretty much, you log into this beefed up version of CapCut. You type in all the information you wanted to make a video about, just like type on your phone or on your computer, and it creates a video for you. Once that video was created, I'm like, okay, let me add a second YouTube channel that's not like this YouTube channel. And supposedly, there's methods that they use to like help you get a viral video, help you pump out videos really quick because you're not even adding words to it. You're not adding captions. You're not adding videos and photos. It's doing everything for you. So I pumped out a couple of those, and I guess because the channel was new and I was pumping out too many videos, it probably saw me as like a spam bot and it didn't push out the videos. So, long story short, I made no money, and it was an expensive way, well, not that expensive, but an expensive way to find out that it needs a lot more than just hands off to make money with AI. Like,
Yeah, I was exploring.
going longer essentially, but it was getting a lot just with that.
Yeah, I was exploring a lot of those things too, and I was hoping that you had better luck than I did. And then I started to find out, like, oh, to get their very advanced stuff, because there are some things on YouTube that I've been wanting to look into, whether for fun or whether for personal development, one of the two.
I actually recommend that though. The method I'm doing could have worked. It's just that I was doing too many new things all at once. So I even used AI to come up with a like avatar photo, and I just got different variants of that photo using ChatGPT Plus. So ChatGPT Plus was still helpful. CapCut, the yearly subscription was helpful because then I still have access to all of those things. But as far as creating the videos, like, you need a human element. That's what I think I was missing. When you're making a video, that's why people love lives. The human element is what makes those videos less like, what do I want to call them? Robotic, to like,
synthetic
more to watch. So do the same method, do the little prompt, like type in, I want you to make a video about crypto. It'll make you a whole video about crypto. Like, literally, it could be a 5-minute video. It'll talk the entire time, but you have to watch that entire video, add in things you would actually say, and then upload. Still, it cuts your editing time like the baby's dancing. It cuts the editing time down so much, it's still worth it because it pretty much starts you with the baseline. But I was trying to be as hands-off as possible because, I wanted to be hands-off. But yeah, just put a little human elements, get the pro version of whatever video software you're using, use the AI it offers with that subscription, but you have to edit it still. The non-editing doesn't work, is all I meant. But yeah, do that same system, but have a YouTube channel or create one like today and then slowly use it over 30 days. Do not spam it with a bunch of videos all at once because it'll think you're spam. So that's the only thing I would have done differently. I would have created that YouTube channel and then slowly, once a week, twice a week, added videos to it so that YouTube could be like, okay, this is a real person, they're reputable. So it's still going to ask your birthday and your actual real name anyways. I was putting in a fake name. I was putting in a fake birthday. You don't want to do that. That's all.
Yeah, so that was one thing that I was trying to work with any of the tools that I could find. One of the things that I encountered, I couldn't really use much of any of the premium tools. I ran into, you plug something into a prompt, it gives you something completely different than what you envisioned in your head. So I'm not gonna mention any names because I don't want people saying he's trying to ruin our business. So I'll just say it like this. I typed in something related to a fantasy novel, and I was trying to build on actually a fantasy world that I concocted in my head when I was a kid, and I started to remember that. I'm like, maybe I can get AI to actually draw what I'm thinking in my head right now. It would be kind of dope, even if it was for like a short video. I'm like, all right, so let's try it. Let's do it. And I typed it in. I typed in a prompt, and the prompt I thought was dead on. I thought it was common sense. This AI sent me back something so completely out of left field. my response, I chuckled, and while saying, "Oh hell no," then I just aborted the entire thing. I kept on trying it. I tried this thing maybe 6, 7. I'm gonna say about 8 times before I'm just like, all right, screw it, I'm not doing this. I went on to another tool. Then I tried it again with something a little bit different. I'm like, all right, let me try this, and it did not work. I think that you have to pay for extra intelligence on these tools.
Yeah.
It's like it will be stupid on purpose to game 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 you into paying, and I'm like, no, I'm not. Maybe I'll get it in the future, like if I can, lock down a good part-time job, and that goes with my other income, that and maybe then that would be a possibility. But I'm not see, the thing is, I saw a lot of the AI channels on YouTube that have 600 a million, I'll say 600,000, a million, 2 million subscribers. I'm like, oh, I could, turn into that and fully automate a YouTube channel for myself. That'd be pretty cool. Have a little passive income going on. And then I saw how difficult it was. It was needlessly difficult, especially if you were on the freemium side of things. You were not getting much of anywhere. And you would think it would be easy for AI to generate a 7-second short, because at least then I could talk over it and I could build things up that way. But that's not how it works. That's not how, it only works that way in your dream. Like you do have a dream of how it would go if you had a channel working that way. But no, this thing was not working. This thing was stupid. And when I say stupid, I mean positively stupid. So I kind of let that idea go. I think the first thing I'm going to want to do is get a better laptop for starters. That's going to, even when I switch eventually from Windows to Linux, a good Linux laptop with a lot of RAM for content creation, that's still going to run about $2,200. And I'm trying my best not to finance it because debt equals slavery. So I'm not really trying to go into debt for a laptop that may or may not even pay off in the first place.
Right. No, it's an investment.
I saw you came back. Welcome back, Hustler. I didn't mean to ignore you earlier.
Man, it's all good. I'm in here shopping anyway.
Have you did anything with AI, Hustler, on your channel?
Yep, I do plenty. This picture right here is AI.
Oh, really?
Oh, you've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. He always has an AI picture. But have you used it to make video, or have you used it to like do any automating for you, like organizing?
Here's another one. And another one.
Another one.
Another one.
Another one.
Another one. Another one. So, yep, got several of them.
When did you start using AI?
I'm going to say in 2013. And these are my old AI pictures.
Wow.
These are older.
Do you think it's helped you in gaining popularity?
Yeah, somewhat. And it helps conceal my identity.
There we go.
Okay, well, if it works, it works. That's what's important.
Yep. I'm just
Oh my
shopping for some workout
That one's
clothes.
white chocolate.
You still working out at the gym, Hustler?
Yep. I was over there a few days ago.
No, that's amateur work, man. You need to be in there every other day for like 10 hours. Don't you want to be a
I
gym
tried
bro?
that, but my body. I tried that, but my body was so sore. I just had to stop for a while.
Well, yeah, I had to switch up my routine just recently because I have to go every other day just to keep my blood sugars at bay. And I had to start switching up. I'm like, yo, why do I still have this flab? I've been going at this now for 4 years. And I started realizing a few things were different. Number one, I started realizing I had not been working out my slow twitch muscle fibers. So the ones that can, I think if I had that right, the ones that can take a licking and keep on ticking, I had not worked those out. And I don't think ever in my life. So I started trying to do workouts where I'm going about 100 total reps and the sets can be uneven. And you actually have like 3 different muscle fiber types. So I pushed strength for a while thinking, oh, I must be doing something. And to some degree I was, but I actually now had to restart my training again. And it's the second time I've restarted my training in the last 4 months because now instead of me working out endurance for endurance, which is like the middle of the road, where I'm doing like 12 rep sets, now I'm doing 20 to 25 reps. And I'm trying to do 4 sets of 25 before I'm like, all right, I think this muscle's been thoroughly worked out. Let's go on to the next one. It's always the stuff that requires patience. That's not my strong suit. Yeah, I want my results. I want them now.
Well, they say patience is a strong virtue.
It is. See, I had to teach myself that, because I'm thinking, all right, I already started with a 60-pound vest on me, and then I'm doing cardio for about 45 minutes. Then I hop up off of that. Then I start doing all my muscle resistance training, and then maybe I'll close out with 45 of cardio without the vest on. And now, and I'm like, yo, this is just a lot. Like, I want the pump. I was chasing the pump for a while. I was like, yo, I want to go home and touch my bicep and have it be like bulging out. I want it to get to like almost to the point where I can see the veins bulging out. And I kind of started to drop that obsession. It wasn't working too well.
I see. Where you gotta take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
Like I told Brienne, I'm on a weight gain journey. I'm trying to gain weight. I'm gaining it and losing it at the same time.
You did mention that. Where are you at in your journey? Have you gained the way you wanted to?
Yeah, I went from like 165 pounds.
Yeah. Well, hey, you told me one step at a time, right? I assume you're trying to gain weight while also maintaining like your strength training, right? Is that what you're trying to do? You're trying to be bulkier?
Yep. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Uh-huh.
See, that's where you and I are reversed. I'm trying to not be super slim like a swimmer, but I'm trying to be more athletically built, like middle of the road, because I've been husky for ooh man. I'm 31 now. I've been husky now for 19 years. So, and I've been working out for the last 4. Where are you going? You just leaving me to run the chat?
I see. Well, yeah, I'm kind of busy too. I'm up here shopping. See, look,
And what you shopping for?
yeah, just some workout stuff. I got these 2 workout shirts right here.
Is that Dick's Sporting Goods? Yep, that's what I thought it was.
Yep, you know your stores.
Well, it's like because I thought about it as much because I saw the stuff lining up in the background, and it looks like a 1-to-1 ratio of the store near me. That would be crazy if we found out we actually live near each other.
I stay in Illinois, so hey.
Oh, never mind. I guess like some of these stores they just look the same, But anyway, but I've actually been trying to discover things on how to put more fuel in my body for the workouts, and I'll tell you, I've ran up quite the tab trying to make sure I'm getting the fuel that I need. But I did discover a poor man's workout if you're trying to go on a budget.
I see. A poor man's workout.
Yeah, I give it a comical name, the poor man's workout, for if you're trying to have some kind of, staying power at the gym, not be super tired super fast. I have a 3 item combination that's helped me when I'm on a budget, when I'm on a severe budget, can't buy nothing. And I think it's cheaper actually. So really it boils down to 2 things. Well, it boils down to 3 things: turmeric, ginger, and a source of caffeine, like a herbal tea. and that's all I've needed.
I see.
And I can still push myself for 2.5 hours before I need a break.
I see.
You should give it a try. I mean, because I think both ginger and turmeric has something to do with testosterone levels as well. So I'm not gonna tell. I won't tell you they'll go blazing, but I think that it should give you something to work with, so that you're not completely tired because you didn't have a pre-workout that you spent like $60 on.
Hey, X, I think
Right.
the baby saying
My
hi
favorite-
and waving.
Saying hi back.
She's
Hi,
really into
whoever's waving at us. But the mic is turned off, so I can't see anything.
Oh,
Not Mike, the camera. My bad.
yeah. I couldn't show you her face if I wanted to, but yeah, she's talking to y'all. I'm like,
You know what, Ted? It's all good. Protect your child's identity. That's more important.
always.
You know, like, hey, you know how people be on the internet sometimes when live replays go on the internet. You know, it's all respect. It's all good.
Sorry for interrupting, but I just thought you should know that.
No. Please pop in. We're just talking about while waiting for Danny to trying to talk about this pre-workout stuff, trying to become more fit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh. Yeah, some people trying to get me to get into that, but that's something I don't want to touch. Too much caffeine for me.
See, but that's the thing, is that most of the stuff that I take has nothing to do with caffeine.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
most of, I'm gonna say about 70% of it is in caffeine, and I think that you and Brienne would like it because it's USDA organic certified, and if I could do it, I think that just about anybody could do it.
Mm.
So the thing is that you know, I don't know what your tolerance is for caffeine, Tez, but what you might want to try is go to the store and look for a brand called Yogi, YOGI.
I heard that.
So you go get yourself Yogi. It can be almost any one of those teas. And, you know, it's just a little dash of something caffeinated to keep your energy levels, like, because what they end up doing, what that brand of tea in particular does is you'll have a little spike, and then you'll level out for a bit before the crash. It won't be a huge spike or a huge crash. It's like somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
So you need yourself a source of caffeine. You know, I think it's like 20 milligrams of caffeine per cup, and then you just need some ginger and turmeric. But you got to make sure it has that organic branding, or you're flushing money down the toilet.
Oh, okay.
And now that's how I do it. If I don't have any other ingredients, thankfully for me at the moment, I kind of do. I'll tell you what is heavy on me though, Tez. Those Celsius drinks, 200 milligrams per can, and there was one day where you can actually go into a caffeine, or I went to a caffeine withdrawal, and my body started to seize a little bit, not violently, but it was like a partial, like my my feet started twitching.
Oh, now is that like an energy drink?
I'm like, yo, what is this? Thankfully I was already home, so there was no danger really. So Celsius, it's spelled the same as the temperature. So Celsius. So I got the Live Fit ones, you know, here and there, and so that one can of Live Fit is 200 milligrams of caffeine. Not to mention you have a plethora of other stuff like vitamin B6, pantothenic acid. I think I don't know if I said that right or not, because I'm not messing with my laptop right now, but But yeah, you looked into that, like one of those drinks, and you'll be bouncing your knee like a bunny rabbit for like the next 5 or 6 hours. So like it lasts quite a while, and that's not even the Live Fit ones. That's just sparkling water too. Like, but it has a bunch of other stuff in it, and I will say to some level, I'm not sponsored, but I should be. It has helped me burn some fat. You know, another thing though. I mean, I giggle when I say this, but I gotta tell you, you know, brother, I gotta tell you, Tez, if you don't want to do any of that, if you say, you know what, bump that, I don't want to do that, then there is one other thing that I discovered recently. that be sending me off to the races, and that thing is called Tangat. Ever hear of it?
Wait, one more time?
It's called Tangat Ali. It's a what is it, Indian herb, I think, and it is pretty. I think it's pretty well known that it does boost testosterone. And it does.
That's that black resin.
Well, I don't know what color it is because it's in an organic plastic capsule. It actually looks more yellow from where I'm standing. But Tangat Ali is very, very powerful. Oh, Hustler left. See ya, Hustler. So Tez, I tell you, you pop a Tangat Ali and you'll feel it because it's not caffeinated, but you're gonna feel it in a different way. Or even Brianna looks at you going, "Are you okay?" You know, that's why I'm like, yeah, you know, like I actually have a goofy look on my face right now. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? You know, you're gonna look at her like, yo, I loved you before, but I'm getting some ideas right now. We're about to conceive number 2.
We ain't got no problem there.
Well, that's the thing. Like, people can take it for things like that, but I take it for the testosterone boost because I can crank out way more power or way more endurance with one serving of that. So, like, they come in capsules, 500 milligrams per capsule, and I started taking that, and all of a sudden, all the women there gained like a 4 out of 10 point increase. Like usually ladies there that I wouldn't have looked at, I'm just like, I was doing double takes. I one time my neck started popping. It was like I'm like, yo, why am I noticing all this? Yo, Blue, what up, man? Yo, Blue, what up? Be safe while driving.
What's good? Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. How y'all doing? Y'all ain't talking about protein and working out and stuff?
Yeah.
So I'm actually telling Tez about something called Tangat Ali, where
I've heard of it.
Ever heard of it, Blue? Have you? Because I won't give you the whole run.
Yeah. I never used it, but I've heard.
I'll just say, Blue, if I'll just let you know it will make your heart pitter patter and all sorts of ways that will distract you from your workout.
Oh, damn. I just take regular testosterone booster pills.
Yeah, Tangat Ali will boost your testosterone. I think it's like for the first month or 2, you shouldn't go beyond like 500 milligram tablets, but capsules, like I said, so capsules, yeah. So I've been taking it for, I don't take it every day. I only take it before a workout. So I let everything flush out over the course of at least one full day. And I go back to the gym, and all of a sudden, all the women that I would deem to be 3 out of 10 are now magically 7s.
yeah, it'll do that. It'll do that.
Yo, I got problems. I started to holler at women.
You feel like a teenager again.
What'd you say?
It make you feel like a teenager again.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I start getting sweats. I had to start looking down at the ground. I'm like, yo, what is this? So, because I guess I've been low on tea most of my life. So when I started finally getting that boost, I was like, yo, what the, this is weird. And so I started going up to women, hypothetically speaking, not me. My evil twin went up to women. You know what I'm saying? And
okay.
All of a sudden, women were saying like, "Hey, you should have said you are my son's age," because because I couldn't control myself. So I'm just like, I was speaking in a deep voice. I was like, not so sleazy, but maybe tilting on that side. I'm like, hey.
That's funny. Turn to the Fonz.
Yeah.
Yo, I started to horrible. I was like, I was doing the song "We Like Her Too." And I started approaching. I was like, why am I approaching when I should be here to put in that work? I'm here to put in work. And I was getting too distracted. I'm like, yo, I seen this woman here like 7-8 times, but I never went up to her because normally I'm just like, I'm in the zone. But I popped Tangat Ali along with the stuff I normally take. If you got maca powder too, you're just like, yo, why do I feel like this?
They talking about
Everybody look like Superman.
Turned to a Super
I
Saiyan.
don't understand.
working out. So.
Yep.
Oh no, that's
exactly
wild.
how it felt.
Y'all want to know about my workout regimen?
You said what?
My workout regimen consists
sorry,
of
what'd you say?
2-year-old. So if you really want
Hey,
to
them
work,
2-year-olds be heavy, man. They be moving around. That is a workout, low key.
that's the whole reason why I'm on here
Yo,
with y'all
Tez, do
now.
you at
because
least
it's
bench
2-year-olds.
press?
What'd you say?
Tez, do you at least bench press your 2-year-old? Like, this is important. You need to stay on that grind.
Bench presser? Yeah, all the time. Bench press.
Oh yeah, like you got to make sure, like, you're not just gonna just stop working out. Your workout changes. It just doesn't stop though. You're not allowed to stop.
No, we was doing squats earlier.
He's like, yo, I'm glad you're gaining weight. Glad you're gaining weight, honey. I need you to come over here real quick. You're doing some bench presses. You got to lift her up over your shoulder. You make sure you're counting your reps too. That's important.
I just go to a failure.
You got to though. Yeah, absolutely. You got to. You guys still out in Oregon?
Yeah.
Yo, what's it like over there? I heard there's like a bunch of forest over there.
It's very beautiful, man. It's extremely beautiful. Like everything about this place is pretty beautiful until you start paying attention to the people on the side of the road and campers and all that jazz.
There's campers? Are like people who go camping, or are you talking about?
No, they're urban campers.
Oh.
I don't know how to say it.
Homeless people?
Yeah, there you go. They call them houseless over here.
I said that.
Houseless.
I said
Got
that.
it. I mean, if you in an apartment, technically you houseless too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
How are the prices over in Oregon? Because I heard they're crazy.
They're high. But I feel like it levels out because a lot of places here or whatever, they'll pay you enough to kind of offset it in certain areas. So if you live in in a downtown area or something like that or whatever, you'll make about as much as it takes to kind of pay for that rent.
So they only pay you for survival like everywhere else.
Yeah, it's just like you living on the East Coast. I don't feel like it's been any different.
Oh, okay, no big deal. Just living paycheck to paycheck like everywhere else. I keep your head up, man. I hope things change for you for the better though, Tez, because it can be quite annoying that you're like, man, I'm constantly on the wheel.
Yeah.
Man.
No, I've been good, man. I'm taking care of family. It's men's mental health month or whatever, so I've been working on that. But I haven't been the same since I lost my mom. But other than that,
yeah, I'm sorry to hear about that, bro. I lost mine last year too.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to hear that, Tez. Wait, what happened and when?
It was cancer. It was about last year. She had lower intestinal cancer.
Jeez.
Wow. Yeah, my mom had some type of like bone marrow cancer.
I'm starting to hear about more and more of these cancers going around. Like it be getting scary.
Yeah, man.
Like, yo, where's this coming from? Like was she?
It's our food. It's our food, man.
I think it's multiple things. I think it's the nonstick pans we used to use, and the keeping the oil or grease or whatever on the stove for too long and reusing it like 17 times.
Yeah, that can accumulate a lot of stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. I'm sorry to hear that, Blue. It's rough. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, man. And I know you feeling the same way I'm feeling or whatever. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, real talk. Just one of them things. Just got to be as healthy as we possibly can in this country. But like I said, I think our food also was a big contributor to that. But
I got
we can only do what we can.
Things that could help you guys with your own health. I'll just share. I would like to share something that's been helping me in the last 2 months that might provide some kind of turnaround for you guys. So So if you're interested, I don't want to force nothing on you.
It's all
Sure, why not?
All right, so there's a multi-dimensional thing to talk about here, but let me just start out simply by saying, so if you guys don't know, I'm a type 2 diabetic, and I was taking herbs for it that are not tested by the FDA for a while, and it worked for a minute, even when combined with exercise, but then things started to take a downturn again. So actually, I've added something to my regimen that sounds crazy, but it doesn't cost you any money. That is called sunlight and grounding. You guys ever hear of grounding?
Oh yeah, I do grounding. I haven't done it last year or two, but I used to do it a lot, like over the
Yeah.
summertime and stuff like that. Yeah, now
Yeah,
that definitely can help with mental health and physical and all that type of stuff.
Well, so there's more to it. So I'll add on even more. So I've been adding in multiple layers of things that don't necessarily cost anything. So first and foremost, I don't know how you guys can do, but I try to get within the first 2 hours of sunrise, I try to get at least half an hour of that sunshine. So so I go on AccuWeather, I type in my zip code, and I look up when the sun's coming up, and I gotta watch the sunrise with my glasses off. Now, the reason why this portion is important, because there's more to the sunlight stuff than meets the eye, and I just discovered this just a mere 3 months ago, and I've been including everything in my routine. So take everything with a grain of salt and just apply it to your own life. All right. So the thing about the first half hour of sunlight is that it is very rich in red light. Now, I don't know how many of you have heard about red light therapy, but there's nothing man-made that can defeat the red light that comes from the sun. So within the first 30 minutes, I have to watch the sunrise no matter what, or the sunset. Either one of those two would work. So that's one. You got to watch the sunrise. 2, midday sunlight. Between the hours of 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. This is what's more difficult because this is where your vitamin D comes from. Welcome back, Hustler. Just talking about sunlight and things that people can do to help their mitochondrial health, which is actually the secret here. Ultraviolet type B.
It's like with plants.
Actually, I'm sorry, what?
I said just kind of similar with plants. The way our melanin works is somewhat similar to how plants absorb sunlight and all that kind of stuff. So that is very healthy for us.
So to an extent, yeah. Like we actually go through a similar form. It's called photobiomodulation, and so when we get our midday sunlight, it is actually enriching our vitamin D, and also that's where our vitamin D comes from, and it stimulates our mitochondria. And for most people who have certain forms of situations going on with their bodies, usually most of their problems are stemming from a vitamin D deficiency. And I'm only telling you what's worked for me, what's been working for me. I actually just had this happen yesterday because in my area, it's rained for about 3 days straight. And I went out yesterday for the first time because I haven't been getting my red light. So I went out after I got back from the gym. My sugars were about 2.5 times what they should have been. But then I went outside and I grounded and I took in vitamin D. I took in ultraviolet B at the hottest point of the day for 18 minutes straight. And I came in, my blood sugars dropped by about 30% without me taking anything. So it worked. So
It's the best medicine in nature. Can't beat it.
Right. So that's something else to look forward to. Now another thing that I'm trying to do, and this is way more difficult because it's in habit formation, is I try to make sure that all of my electronic devices are turned off up to 2 hours before I go to bed. No cell phone, which is my most common denominator, because the overabundance of artificial blue light actually erodes your I think it's your melatonin. So if you have a melatonin deficiency, a lot of people's sleeping deficiencies comes from a lack of, I think it's melatonin. It's either melatonin or serotonin, one of the two.
It's melatonin. It helps you sleep.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I turn off my phone usually by 7 o'clock Eastern, and I attempt to not look at my phone for the rest of the night. And this will give your body a chance to, just start slowly, winding down for the night. Last night, I got some very rich sleep. The night before, I went to bed a little too late. I think it's around 8:30 when I switched my phone off, and my sleep was very garbage. I woke up like 3 times in the middle of the night. So you'd be surprised at how much, including, nature and stuff in your daily life, how it can change if if you have a better idea of what you're doing. Now, even me, I'm still learning a lot of things. That's why I don't pretend to be an expert, but this does inspire me, where I want to look more into red light, near infrared light, ultraviolet A, ultraviolet B, eventually gamma. And for all we know, you might actually benefit. Many people would benefit from it. So what you could do is look into your local latitude, look up your haplogroup. So if you have that's your skin type, by the way. Your haplogroup is your skin type, and if you have the lighter you are, the less time you have to spend in the sun. The darker your skin is, the more time you're going to need. If you can end up getting outside during your lunch break, and your lunch break's around 12 o'clock, that's good and bad at the same time. It's good because that's when your ultraviolet is probably at its highest, between 12 and 1 o'clock. And I would recommend that you wet your t-shirt, and you go outside, and you sit out there for however long you need to max out your vitamin D levels, and I think that you will feel better. You won't feel good when you're forming the discipline, but as you form the discipline, you will feel better. So I'll get off my soapbox, but I've been looking into this for a minute, and it's very, very interesting.
No, it's definitely things to look at for sure. I think a lot of times, we live in these, more, I guess, robust, quote unquote, cities. We forget that we are from Earth. So a lot of times, a lot of things that can heal or at least help us do come naturally from the planet. You know what I mean? So, all of these things are definitely good to look into for sure.
I shared the name in the StreamYard chat. I shared the name Jack Cruz. I want you to go look him up, because that's how I learned what I learned. He's a board certified neurosurgeon. He's right now in 2025. I think he's in the last year and a half of his career before retirement. And this is where I learned it. I'm not claiming originality. I'm trying to share this with as many people as I can, because, well, it excites and inspires me. And I don't know how true it is, so take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt. But the bringing up of cancer, how I think he talked about someone who had a hard time with their bones as well, and our bones are like semiconductors, and he was introducing like this extreme red light therapy, and he was his patient was going through something with his legs, and the surgeons he was dealing with was trying to get him to go through with the knee replacement surgery, like putting like a big block of metal in his knee. And he went to Jack Cruz instead, and it took I forget how long it took, but one of his interviews, Jack Cruz said that his leg is essentially it got healed, because we do have self-healing processes in our body where if we found out how that worked, we could put the medical establishment out of business.
Yeah.
In certain areas, in certain ways, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, they don't want that. They want to stay safe. So,
Yeah. And two countries that I heard are doing very good with decentralizing the medical establishment is Panama and El Salvador. And they, unlike our system, which, we keep on being told that there's no other way, that this stuff doesn't exist, just do what you're told, pop your pills, and just shut up. While over there, they're dethroning pharmaceuticals very slowly. They use it where they can, or where they have to. But there's a lot of places over there that's rich in what's called decentralized medicine, you might have heard decentralized if you've been in the crypto conversation. But they've been doing very well with it. And people who are going over there, they're having very positive results with the things they're dealing with as well. There's things that the United States could have had figured out eons ago, but they haven't. Or they had it figured out and purposefully hid it. I mean,
oh yeah, because too much money and keeping everybody sick.
Hey guys,
They don't care about us like that. Hey, what's up,
Brian? What Brian's talking? Hold up.
You're both moderators, right?
I know I am.
I think so.
Okay, I'm just fixing up stuff in my car just in case it disconnects. I was making sure you guys were able to keep it going. But I think I have to have one moderator on. If you guys are both mods.
I know X. I know X is for sure.
Yep. Okay, then yeah, perfect.
Yep. So I know. So yeah, we're still good. There's no nothing in the chat. Chat's still quiet. But yeah, that's the conversations I'm having with people offline. Blue. I'm telling people about sunlight and how it's helping me. Well, I get excited to where I indirectly say, well, this will definitely help you too. I think it'll help everybody to some degree. I don't think it's I will never say something is a panacea because I don't have the legal authority to make that claim. But what I would say is give crazy a shot, because usually the crazy ones end up being right anyway.
Yeah, that's a lot of innovations come from so-called crazy people. So
Yeah, I mean, so even right over where I'm at is 6:26. So I'll probably be hopping off of here in the next 20 minutes to start winding everything down. Because I do want to be I'll probably push it till 7:15. Because I'm not exactly on the money for when I shut down everything, but I try to make sure I make my rounds. I say my greetings to people and all that stuff. But you'd be surprised with how much our electronic devices and our Wi-Fi towers actually messes with our mitochondria and messes with our circadian biology, and it's bonkers when you look into it, because that my sleep is very irregular. I have both insomnia and sleep apnea. And I'll tell you that I discovered a canopy, and I'm not gonna mention brand names yet, because one, I'm not an affiliate, so I want to get paid. But anyway, all that being said, there's a canopy that can go over your bed, and it's silver coated metal. I think it's silver coated steel or something, and it's supposed to block out a lot of the man-made electromagnetic fields. And this thing, for I think the smallest you can get is a queen size. I looked at the price on Amazon. This John from the company itself was like $830, and I was like, I had to win. I was like, but it's rough. But
was it like a sheet?
Every person, that's on the cheap side. It gets worse the larger you go. But I was like, but every person who got their canopy, they said I sleep better. Canopy, you ever walk into a room?
Yeah. No, I didn't hear you say that part. Yeah. It kind of cut out when you said canopy the first time. That was all.
Oh yeah. So it's a canopy, for your bed, and it's made out of metal. And most of the EMFs that we deal with, they go right through the walls. You ever forget to turn off your Wi-Fi in your phone and you walk away from your house? You ever realize how you have to get like 2 or 3 houses away before you start losing signal?
Yeah, it's still holding on to it.
Exactly. So that's just one place. So when you live in a suburban development, you're getting bombarded with 3.5 gigahertz 24/7 365. So that our brains are not meant for that. Our bodies and our ancestors, we were built for 7.85 hertz, not 3.5 gigahertz, which I think with the way they count it, it's 3.5 million. Imagine a drum that can beat 3.5 million times. I think it's per second or per minute. I forget. But
per second, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's like and it's beating on our neurological systems on a regular basis. Now it's even worse if you live in a city.
That's why I always laugh when people make fun of folks that live in so-called third world countries, calling them backwards, but they tend to live longer and way healthier than us because they live closer in nature. we're actually doing the opposite.
Yeah,
Like now we're supposed to actually be living outside of nature, but
yeah, we're the ones who are backwards. If I have it my way, I want to leave the suburbs. You know, I
yeah,
don't want to be bombarded, because the thing is, if you want to escape it while living in the suburbs, you know how much money you got to crank out. You have to get yourself a canopy for
crazy,
your
isn't it?
bed. I'm sorry.
I say it's crazy, isn't it? We're the most
Yeah, like you.
intelligent people, but we gotta pay to live in nature.
Well, what I'm saying is that what I'm saying is, in order is, so let's say people don't want to move, like they don't want to go build a house
Yeah,
out in the middle of the woods
you
in the
gotta
summer.
find ways to add things to your
Right. You
life
gotta,
that's gonna balance it up.
yeah, so get this. So like you need $830 plus shipping and tax for the canopy. You need to pay someone to set up special materials for your for what's called a Faraday cage. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but essentially it's this thing that can block out the vast majority of electronic communications. I don't know how much a Faraday cage will cost for a house, but I guarantee you it's not cheap, because even a one person size one is pretty expensive. So imagine covering your whole house to where no electronic signals can get inside. You're looking at some money. And that's even if the building codes in your local jurisdiction will allow it. So then there's that. So now it's because that's what I thought about. Oh yeah, let's put a Faraday cage around the entire house, and that would be pretty darn sweet, wouldn't it? Well, it would, but it's gonna be, tens of thousands of dollars. People are like, oh, you can get this paint to block them out. I'm not for paint because paint has fumes, so I'm not really down for that. I like hardware. So if you want to if you want to get the metals, I think they're called non-ferrous metals. I forget what they're called, but you need special metals to put on your walls to block out most of the EMS from outside, because I live 35 feet from a power line, which is even more man-made stuff. And then you have to pay to switch your house to direct current instead of alternating current, which is what all of the United States is on. So you might be spending upwards of, just a measly, twinkly little $300,000 in addition to your regular expenses. So you got that, Blue. It's in your back pocket, right? You don't mind racking up some debt.
Or just go live in another country where everything's right there.
Anytime I hear about what the U.S. has done with their own people, all I hear is that song with Bass and J. Cole. I love you too. Like I want to get out of here. I feel like I want out of here, bro. Like, so wait, because I looked at some of Average Man Unplugged's videos, and he did a video a long time ago on it feels like a long time ago, like 2 years ago, on South Africa. And you know what they always be advertising, the women over there, and then you're like, oh my god, this is what most of them look like. Yeah, because they don't have all that junk food and stuff. I'm like, yo, forget this. I want to go over there. I'm just not a fan of the heat. I'll have to be in my pool 24/7. So you got it.
It's definitely hot in Africa. I've been to a couple countries over there.
Oh, where was the last one you went to? Oh no, we lost Blue. Come back, Blue. Welcome back, Hustler. You get done your shopping?
Yep, I'm home now. Finally.
Yeah, finally.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how much you heard, Hustler, but I've been talking about things for people's health where it doesn't necessarily involve spending money. And then when the conversation switched to, better living, getting away from man-made stuff in America that's ruin people's health. Tez was talking about, his late mom, and then Blue mentioned his late mom, and I was mentioning, just for the first time, I was mentioning decentralized medicine and how it might be in order that we take a look at things that we would call people crazy for, because we tried everything else. So why not try this? So that's pretty much where we left off, where, I was talking about videos of other places that I would like to go to, potentially to live in. The only disadvantage I was mentioning with South Africa was the heat. But if it means getting away from all this centralized stuff in America, it might be worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, I was hopping in and out earlier, so I didn't get to hear the whole thing. But salute to Tez.
Oh, there you go.
Tez. Salute to
My
Tez.
bad,
Love what he
connection went
says.
out.
You and your wife turning heads.
Appreciate it. Hey,
I'm sorry, man, like,
wait, 18 real
man was gone for like a good hour.
an
What you
hour.
say, Bree?
I've been in the background. Hold up. Say that again. H&M Tess just got back.
What you say?
So what?
I ain't hear what you said.
Oh, I said shout out
He was
to
rhyming.
Tez. Love what he
said something
says.
about
You
you
and
guys
your
turning
wife,
heads,
y'all
but-
turning heads.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you'd like them. Okay, Blue, I
So-
think that was next.
So yeah, Blue, welcome back, Blue. I do see you.
Right.
You were in the middle of saying something, but then you cut out, Blue. So you're muted right now.
Yeah, my connection just went out for a second. That was my bad. No, you asked me where I went last. I said I went to Zanzibar, Tanzania. That was all I said.
I keep hearing Tanzania is one of them hot spots in Africa right now. I never hear of people going to Morocco. Does anybody know what it's like over there?
I haven't been. I've been to Mauritius, which is near Morocco, but I've never been to that actual country. That's a pretty big country over there.
Yeah,
I'm not
curious
sure.
about it, but I also heard of what now I'm only gonna say what I've heard. I heard that Morocco is pretty much America for the African continent. That it's kind of too late to go find a wife over there. That's what I heard, but I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just saying that's what I heard.
Yeah, I have no idea.
So I was like, so yeah, it might be worth to get away from all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I think now most Americans now more than ever want to get their YouTube pop, and they want that ad revenue to be like, okay, thank you, bye.
Get that remote money.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's hard to find a remote job. I've been trying to do that for like damn near a year.
Well, it's hard to find a job in anything right now. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
In my neck of the woods, that whole thing about bringing back manufacturing jobs, it has not been happening. At least not for me.
Like we were talking about the other day with AI. Also, that's a whole other thing that's going to kind of change up the job market too. That's going to replace some jobs in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I see a lot of the stuff with robotics going on right now. Where there was somebody I knew there's someone I know who's a welder, and last year he got let go from his job for a plethora of reasons. He admitted to parts that was his fault.
Okay.
So I like how Brienne just ditches the lie. That's great.
The baby probably pressed the button.
So she leaves me with her lie. Wait, I'm like, she leaves me with her lie. Like what?
That's funny.
What is this? Anyway,
I guess it's the X Live now. I guess.
Yeah, it is funny.
It's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. This is my live now.
You're the co-host, so
that's when most of the viewership's going to drop off because. Yeah, I try to co-host live. I support Brienne for many reasons. I'll get back into that in a minute. I'll just finish what I'm saying. So my friend who's a welder who got let go from his job as a welder, and he has multiple years in TIG welding and MIG welding and a little bit of stick welding, I think. And he got replaced with a welding robot. And yet there's politicians who keep saying we need more welders. And it's like, well, you're replacing us with robots. What's the point of me going to school, going thousands into debt when you're just going to replace me with a robot anyway? So vast majority of Americans are disenfranchised. There's a lot of manufacturing places around my spot. I've been looking for a manufacturing job since the end of June last year. I've been looking for. Yeah. I've been looking to get to CNC manufacturing and robotics and get into an apprenticeship or something. I've been looking for that for almost a year. I still can't find one in my neck of the woods. So
And you know what's funny? These politicians keep asking, "What? How come young men don't want to get married? You guys need to get married to help out, with this, that, and the third, and all this kind of stuff." But these same politicians aren't pushing for these jobs for these jobs to be more available to these young men. It's like, yo, what
right,
what do you expect these guys to do?
right. So
like
it's like so,
like
and
yo,
that's what
and that's
the
even
thing is that
without the women demanding six figures. Even just even in a normal society,
so,
that's still problematic. Like, you got to make money
yeah. Blue,
regardless of inflation or even a normal.
what I would say is that I'm one of those people who are very rare to call out of work. Like, I have to be really sick or some tragedy went down with my car. That's why. That's why I would
Same here.
So I need to have an
Yeah.
emergency. Because remember the old saying, which is still very true, that if you like what you do, you never work a day in your life. So
Yeah.
I've had very few jobs that I liked, but when I did like my job, I'm like, you have to get me to call out. You have to force me to take a sabbatical or something. Or I got to be mentally burned out. So I'll just say it like this: if I had a job where, at the moment, under my current circumstances, I have to make sure I say that, if I'm grossing $25 an hour, that's $4,000 a month, I'm living like the king under my current circumstances. If I made that kind of money,
By
but that's
yourself, you can live fine like that. Yeah. I'm saying,
yeah,
like, people that are trying to start families and stuff nowadays, like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So and that's another thing, if I was a politician, I would institute what I call an automation tax. Essentially, if you don't, and now a lot of businesses would not like that, but let me explain. If there's a job, because I know that their businesses wish to cut costs, but one thing I've noticed over the last 9 years of American history is that, without fail, most of the money savings from automation and other innovation does not trickle down to the entry level workers. The entry level workers get cut out or reduced. And the thing is that, for all the people who say, no, we don't want a universal basic income, well, guess what? When you automate, you're taking away our jobs. So what I would say is, if there's a human that can do the same kind of job, I'm not completely against automation. Don't get me wrong. I'm against automating to the point where a job is no longer human. So, or there's no human element. Like, if there's like the AI, for example, I'm not completely against AI if it did what people promised it would do, but that's not what's happening. People are getting all sorts of things from AI. AI is making all sorts of, racist comments against Black people and all sorts of things. So my thing is that, if you're going to be saving thousands of dollars, all we're going to do is, if you as a business owner, you don't want to help the unemployment numbers go down, we're just going to tax you that money and give it right to them in the first place. And then you guys can cry about that. And I'm talking about the business owners. Like, if you want to use automated tracking systems, ATSs, I think that's what it stands for, or applicant tracking service or software, or whatever. If you want to use that, well, most people are not aware, myself included, of the keywords you need on your resume, or you will be thrown in the trash by that automated process. Okay, well, until this unemployment number comes down, you businesses are the problem. So we're just going to tax you for that. So if you don't want to, you're going to have to bite the bullet and train someone, because that's what we kept hearing from people like Mark Zuckerberg, from Elon Musk. People are like, oh, you don't necessarily need college. And then what does Elon do? He turns around and he makes every job you need to have a PhD in engineering to qualify for one of his jobs. And just so you can bring down an automated robotic arm to put something on a Tesla, you need to have a PhD in engineering for that, which is completely bonkers. So much for, let's teach the people. It's like, hey, well, you already proven that the money does not trickle down. I don't want to hear another thing about the savings and the savings. Well, guess what? Well, unemployment is going to cost most people more money, because we won't be able to afford the goods that are on the shelf, and that includes the things that we need. So go ahead, Blue. I know I'm cutting you off.
Oh, no, you're good. No, it's the same. Brienne's last live stream, I jumped into the tail end of it, and I was kind of saying the same thing. Like, this could possibly turn into. Sorry, man. Grab some at the store. Sorry. But no, I was saying like this could possibly turn into socialism in the future, depending on how this stuff goes with AI, like with it replacing certain jobs and things like that, because people still need to eat. People are still, making babies. People are going to be born into this
Well,
world. So like, what's going to happen? Like, is it going to go into
well,
socialism, or they're
that's
just going to like it has to balance out at some point
ooh,
between robots and humans, because you don't got to pay a robot technically,
right. Well,
besides
you got to
maintenance, I
pay for the
guess. But
robot and the upkeep. Well, you have to pay for the robot and the upkeep of the robot, and very few people will be
yeah, the,
available
the
to
uh
upkeep that
maintenance,
robot.
the maintenance,
But
yeah.
then it gets worse. If you didn't hear, Blue, the birth rates everywhere except for Africa are going down. We are now
Yep.
beneath replacement level, and China has, in particular, has been panicking.
Korea, I think Korea's getting pretty bad too.
Yep.
They like were
Right now,
calculating next few decades they might not have any more people or something like that, or next like 50
right. So,
years it's supposed to be like
yeah, the world's population will probably be about 40% lower in the next 5
yeah,
years if something's not done. Well, and yet you
it's
won't put the
population
kibosh
control.
on AI. It's like, so they're panicking over birth rates. So they're like, well, what do we do? Well, you could, I don't know, stop automating stuff to death. Maybe we could, because most people don't like the automation stuff. You ever go to call something and you have to go through like 5 automated prompts, and then you have to yell something into the phone because the AI misheard you the first 4 times?
Yeah, if I can't press 0 and get a human, I'll hang up.
Like,
Majority,
yeah,
unless some real important, you know what I'm saying? Like if I can't press 0 and skip all of that to a human being, like nah. But that's a good point.
that's what
Yeah, a
I'm
lot of
saying.
that's probably going to be AI, because even think of like Chat GPT or like Google Gemini, you can talk to those things and have it conversate with you, and you can ask it questions, and it'll answer based off the internet, obviously. But think once that gets a little more
Right,
advanced, yeah, a lot of
right,
those call
exactly.
center help type of jobs, because it's going to be AI, and we damn near might not even be able to tell, because they're starting to sound less robotic. And all. Yeah, it's going to get crazy.
Yeah, and it already is really. I mean, and this is what automation and, let's just say, innovation has done. Where, yeah, if you want to send a robot into, let's say, a sewer treatment plant, I think I can speak for all men when I say that that right now all the sewer treatment plant employees are men, right? So if you want to take a robot that can't smell all that material that comes out of people's bodies, if you know what I'm saying, and you want to send them into a sewer pipe to unclog something, then be my guest. That sounds amazing, because then men don't got to do that no more. If you want to send a robot about 300 feet in the air to go, 240 feet in the air to go fix a cell tower, well, at least the robots don't have to worry about their brains being microwave cooked by the radio frequencies up there, or whatever else dangers up there. Be my guest. You want to send a robot 500 feet in the air to work on a skyscraper, be my guest. But the thing is that there's a point in time where you got to draw the line at what is reasonable, and because, let's be honest, most of the automation today is unreasonable. And not only that, people aren't liking it to begin with, because in order to make the automation better, you have to feed it more human data, which means, you guessed it, breaching into your data. Which means, you know what? Someone actually mentioned that when your phone is off, your phone's not actually off. It's just in an extremely low powered state. You ever go wake up and your phone has less energy in it than what you put into it? Well, there's a reason for that. It's because your phone's in extremely low power mode and you're being spied on during your private moments. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
So
I forgot what that act was called that George W. Bush put into play back in the 2000s. I think was it the Patriot Act, maybe,
yeah,
that
that's what.
kind of breached
Yeah.
some of the. I think we had the Patriot Act. Yeah, we're in like a more advanced era of that, basically.
Yeah, so I mean, getting back to automation, but I'll just mention that where, there's a reason why a lot of us won't be able to get jobs. Like, hey, they all lied, and like they always do. They're like, no one's coming for your jobs. Just calm down. Just
Yeah,
sit
no
back.
human. It's AI about to come. It's Skynet coming for your job. It ain't a human. It's worse.
You ever wonder
Like the people
how in the world?
with Ultron.
Yeah, you ever wonder how corporate executives that are unnecessary just somehow end up dodging the automation process. Like, do you really need, like, there's a certain nonprofit that I'm not going to name so I don't get sued, but this nonprofit has one president, one CEO who are not the same person, and they have about 15 vice presidents. Completely unnecessary. And they're nonprofit. They're taking state money from different state governments and making up things for their executives. But meanwhile, they're putting about 4 transportation jobs and collapsing them all into, consolidating them all into one. And they're making a driver, a CDL driver, do 4 jobs for the price of $15 an hour. At least that's the last time I heard. The last time I heard, it was like $13 an hour to carry a bunch of lives of the specially handicapped, if you know what I'm saying, the developmentally challenged.
Yeah,
13
for
is a
sure.
ripoff. There's no bootstraps to pull us up by because the bootstraps was already taken by the rich. So it's like, hey, we're trying here. We're trying to start our YouTube channels. We're trying to get stuff popping out here because it is really hard right now. And Brienne left again.
It's killing the middle class, basically.
Yeah, I mean, so
getting
so
great
everybody can start trying soon because hey, when Jeep goes ahead, and there's Brian again, when Jeep goes ahead and drops their new vehicle, I'm not buying it. You know why? I don't have money to pay that debt. I mean, I paid off my car recently. I'm just making up an example, but hey, when the new everything that thrives on the debt of people being willing to spend through credit cards. That system is going to be dying lickety split because people say, I can't spend on anything other than groceries. Right now, people are still scared and they're not buying into what the politicians are saying. About half the country believes we're in the Great Depression 3.0. That's what people really believe right now. That's why I don't even watch the mainstream news.
I mean, it's a 100-year anniversary of it, so we probably are kind of cycling back to that. If you think about it, everything goes in cycles. So this pretty much is kind of like a new age. We just got more distractions now to distract people from it, but it's the same thing.
Yeah. Everything is so great that now, and for now, I'm saying this as someone who's politically neutral, so take this with a grain of salt. But politicians just seem to think the economy is so great that they have to turn to legalizing marijuana. Huh? I thought the economy was great without it. So how come you have to try to legalize it now when the economy is just so great? Is it because it's not so great? Oh, you mean the politicians lied? No, they would never.
That.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so, I forget which state had their debate last, but most of the country, I was like, they looked at what money they spent during the 2020 era and then through their boosted unemployment programs, and they're patting their pockets like, oh shoot, we have no money. Oh well, let's pull this thing out of the drawer that's been sitting here for 5 years, and let's make it look like that we're doing the people's will when we committed treason and should have been voted out years ago. Yeah. So so then they're like, hey, let's put this up for a vote, and then states are like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to do this. Yeah, we're gonna have to legalize it, or like they're gonna have to because the entire industry, I don't know if it's the entire industry or if it's just medical, it would be $140 billion a year industry. Oh, you should go over see what's happening in Germany right now with the green plant. They fully legalized it and things are booming in
when they do that?
Oh, I forget exactly what year, but Germany you should look it up. Germany has a full
legalization. I was just there 6 years ago. It was illegal then. They must have just did that in the last few years. It was illegal in 2019.
Yeah, hold on. I might drop my microphone, but I'm gonna look.
I guess that's like Chicago. Chicago legalized in 2020, so probably the same thing.
When did Germany legalize? And most people want it. That's what really drives me bonkers. That about 72% of all Americans want medical legalized.
Yeah,
and they still won't do it. They just don't. I'm glad I never believed in that mess. So, all right, let's see what's going on. Joe.
Wait, someone
She opened up the floodgates. And now they open up the floodgates, and now money's pouring into Germany like crazy.
I think it was just adjusting. Okay.
Can you guys still hear me? Yeah, all right, there we go. Brian, you still
still
there?
here.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm still here.
I'm here too.
All right, you just sound far away.
Is somebody
You sound far away
outside driving?
What you
My
say,
bad.
Hassan?
That's me.
Oh, okay. I was driving earlier, so I ain't gonna knock you for it.
So yeah, Blue. Like now they're gonna have to legalize it because it's the only way to bring that money back. The people who've legalized it, the only reason why they're losing money is because the federal government won't step out of the way. They have to cancel Schedule 290E or something, where the IRS takes a 90% cut whenever someone goes to get their green plant. I think it's about 90% cut, and then they still got to pay taxes. It's undoable unless you're a big business, of course. So now they are nearing a point where they're losing they're losing the war. They're just winning battles. You have a section of Republicans who are trying to make hemp illegal, even though that was signed into law in 2018 in the 2018 Farm Bill. And now they're trying to make hemp illegal all over again. And good thing last time it failed, because I'm like, yo, you got it. You can't be serious. Cynical, you back? Oh yeah, if there's anybody here who's joining in to the conversation, make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe, all that bull stuff. You know what I'm saying. Actually, that actually reminds me, I gotta do something in a few minutes. But yeah, make sure you hit the like button and all that other good stuff. This is where conversations be going. I'm glad we can have these conversations too. It's really nice to just unload all the stuff I've been thinking. Because usually I can't share it with many other people. But yeah, they're going to have to legalize it at some point, because we might very well end up working on marijuana farms. Let's just keep it 1,000.
Ain't nothing new. Is it?
They do that in California.
Yep. That's what I hear anyway.
We're going to have to. It's like, I found a job in another state. I found a job in another state
legal
where it's legal. And it was for a security job. I didn't apply for it at the time because I was going after something different. Actually, also, I'm afraid that the FBI will do a bust one day, but that's another reason why I'm not doing it. It's a legal shop, they have all their licenses and stuff. But that security job was paying $25 an hour to just hang out there. It's like, geez, nothing in my neck of the woods pays that much. Not even the armed guards that work for that company Garda World or something, the ones that drive those armored vehicles, they don't even pay that much. But
did you drive there or did you move?
No, I didn't work there, but I was applying to work there.
Oh, okay.
I was applying to work there, and I saw it on their website. And they were paying $25 to hang out there overnight, and that's another reason. But I'm more afraid of
like a security thing.
Yeah, the security thing. So I was afraid. I get more afraid that if while I'm on the job, that the FBI and a helicopter will kick everything down, and everyone will get arrested just for being there, And so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna wait for legalization before I go that direction. It's legal. That's not going to help you. As long as it's federally illegal, the federal government does not care what the states are doing, even though the 10th Amendment says they're not allowed to interfere, but whatever. But I'm more afraid of the FBI, DEA kicking everything down, and everyone.
Illinois legalized that 5 years ago.
What?
I said Illinois legalized it 5 years ago. Ain't none else, but no, I feel it should be federal though by now. It's ridiculous.
Even after I think Oregon actually fully legalized it, and then about 2 months later, you have someone who's being taken off of a completely legalized grow, and the DEA did a bust over there, and we never heard of that person again. just last week, someone within the last week, someone else got busted for being in a legal state growing, and now they're facing about 30 years.
Wow.
It's like yeah, that FBI's not joking around. It's like, wait a minute, but so
A plant that doesn't even hurt nobody.
Right. It has deleted 0 humans in the last 5,000 years. Now, overdoing it, yeah, well, it's like it's been here for thousands of years. So it's hurt no one. It's like and then you have people in politics going, well, it's a gateway, bruh. And it's like, well, it kind of is in a sort of way. But but that goes into like high spiritual stuff, and
I mean a lot of stuff can be a gateway. Having too much intercourse with somebody could be a gateway to being a nympho. You know what I mean? That don't mean we should stop doing that.
well, that's what I'm saying though. But I'm saying when I'm talking about a gateway, I'm talking like. But you would have to look.
Yeah.
But I think about something in a different way. You would have to go look up the gateway tapes, the gateway process, the Monroe Institute, and look up people's experiences there. And it's very fascinating. I'm not saying I've done it. I've thought about it. Like they're down south in Virginia, and they've been studying consciousness since like the 1980s, and there's a lot of things that go into like advanced neuroscience where it's kind of like where spirituality intersects with real life neuroscience. It's really fascinating to look into.
Like psychedelics and stuff like that.
Well, marijuana is a psychedelic, but I'm
talking. Yeah. I'm saying, but like, like shrooms and all like DMT and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, and yeah, things like that. But I don't think they use any of that. But they do make sure that they engage in just enough like sensory deprivation or something. Like so, they'll put you like in a dark room. You ever been in like the quietest room in the world, and it has like those gigantic foams on the wall, and you can barely even hear yourself think. It's like you're inside of a vacuum. So you get put inside of a room that's almost like that, where
like you're in space, basically.
Yeah, well, there's a whole thing. Like I don't want to misquote, but they do all sorts of things with that. And yes, marijuana is a gateway to a lot of things. Where if you look up what happens with the gateway process, and there's like a whole report that was declassified by the CIA, and usually anything connected to the CIA is bad news in the first place, hypothetically speaking. But they declassified this many years ago, and so then people were reading the report, and then it cuts off at page 25. They claim for years that that page 25 has been missing for all these years, and then someone allegedly found it where it was where page 25 was really just talking about unification of people and let's stop the wars, let's stop the violence, and let's put our weapons down, not get rid of them, just like put them down. Let's talk to each other. Let's love one another. And it's like, oh, you mean so the CIA that functions majority based off of WAR doesn't want people to unify? Huh? That's a shocker. Oh, we lost Hustler. And so I'm speaking hypothetically, of course. So I don't know anything for certainty, but this is what I heard. Like the stuff about the CIA stuff is all over YouTube right now. Some of these channels got 6 figures of views on their pages for this. Like it's fascinating. And marijuana is a gateway to that, because then people get into psilocybin and you get even more vivid than that. Then then people want to end up trying like LSD, and that's definitely probably never being legalized, but people be starting to see things that they never thought they would see before. And then, magically people are like, you know what? I don't want to fight people no more. I don't want to be in disagreements with people no more. This is stupid, and they're like, oh snap. If people are unified, they won't need government anymore. Because, you only really need government when there's chaos in the world. You ever wonder why there's hand cannons that circulate around Chicago for all these years? Well, the politicians, you know what? I'll just cut it off there. But anyway, I ranted up for a long time. I'm the king of rants.
Oh, I hear an airplane.
It's all good.
You hear that? That was clear. Are you outside, Bloom, or X?
Am I outside? Because I can't hear you.
That's
man.
me. I'm in the laundry, man.
Like I'm in a room with a fan, but the fan's pointing in a different direction than me.
That was me. I'm at the laundromat.
Oh wow, okay, I did hear it. You met your store.
So Brienne, where you at? Where you at in your stuff right now?
Oh, I'm done making products.
You're done?
Yeah, we're on the road right now. I was putting
Oh.
stuff in the car.
Oh, all right.
That was why she wanted you to hold it down.
What was that?
I said that was why you wanted him to hold it down in the
yeah,
chat.
because I was like, I might lose you. You know, keep it going.
Don't.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, I can rant about all sorts of things. I'm just out of things to rant about now.
Oh, okay. Let me think of something. Well, at least for the next 20 minutes.
It's all right. I'm actually gonna fall out. It was nice talking to you guys again. I hope to do this again soon. It's always nice to vent about something that's not about relationships 24/7. No offense to anyone else,
of course.
but I like talking about things that really stimulate the intellect. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I like to listen to this stuff. I don't have much intellect. I'm just a housewife. But yeah, it's always fun to listen to.
Oh, you gotta say that.
Hey, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm always happy to rant. I mean, I wish, wait, let's check on everything. Make sure. Yeah, we got what is it? 2 people here. Try to make sure that we got myself and somebody else up in here. But I miss our old crew with Melody, Gail Nelson, which I heard she disappeared somewhere.
Yeah, I've been looking for her.
One other.
Yeah, I had to say she vanished about a year ago. Seems like.
She wait. What you said? She was banned?
It's not she vanished. She disappeared or something.
Yeah, she had a viral video.
I know she showed up to a live, and then I went to look up her name. You talked to her, Brian?
No, she had a viral video a few months ago. I don't know if anyone saw it. She was like, "These are the things you're supposed to be doing for your husband. Like, why do you get with your husband and you?" Because she pretty much went on a small rant about this is what to do for your husband, not for a boyfriend. And another person reviewed that video of her. So it could have been before, she disappeared. But I just saw that a few months ago. I'm like, oh, she's back. Typed her name, nothing came up. So I don't know where they got that video from, but it was of Gail.
Yeah, because I remember she popped into one of the streams back in the day, and after that she just never showed up ever again. And it's like we had a fun conversation that day. I'm like, because sometimes I take things too personal, so I'd be wondering like, yo, did I do something? Yeah, did I say something? Because I remember Gail. She was cool. I don't know why she left. I heard that somebody was threatening her or something, or social media became too much for her.
She was she was going viral, so it could have been a lot of stuff on her and her family. Hope everything's good though.
It's a shame when like people who like really got it going on is they just disappear. They don't trust anyone. They don't talk to nobody, and that's really sad. Yeah, but especially when you got an audience of people who are really trying to. I know Chantel Simone came back to YouTube a few months ago. But I never really watched the content.
Yeah, she's been doing a lot of reaction videos. They've been really fun.
Yeah, I get sometimes I get tired of reaction stuff though. I really do. It's like I wonder what would happen if YouTube just all out just started either severely cutting into reactions, like ad revenue, or B, if they just outwardly say, you know what, we're just not allowing it. We don't care about fair use anymore, and we're just gonna say, you know what, this is done. I wonder how much room would just because the thing is that most of the people's channels today would not exist if they had to do everything by themselves. But to an extent, on the creator side, I understand it because what's the point of you creating something out of thin air? You spend hours on something, and then somebody just rips you off, and then they're making your money. So I can see both sides. So
when some of those reactors count as quote unquote reporting the news, though, like how would that work? Because you're still gonna have people online that are actual, like news outlets, which are it's essentially you reacting to what's going on in the world. So I kind of wonder between like independent media versus traditional news platforms that may have a YouTube page and they're talking about something going on in politics or whatever. That's them kind of reacting.
Well, it's just the thing is that now there's someone I heard of. I never watched his content because I didn't hear of him until he was having a really hard time. His name was Etika. I don't know if you know who he was.
No, I'm not sure.
Okay, so Etika, Etika. He was this really popular reactor. He was really into Nintendo things like Smash Bros. And things like that. Now, what he did, that was reaction content. I'm talking like for the whether it was him or for the sake of his for his viewers, he would do things like, he not only would he just be like, oh my god, like I'm toning it down, but he's like, oh my god, he would sweep everything off of his shelves, all his gaming consoles and stuff, to where you would hear it hitting the floor. Now, to me, that's a reaction content. To me, it's not like these modern day channels. It's just like, they'll just play the content. They can actually walk away from the screen and they're adding absolutely nothing. They have about 40 minutes of absolute silence, and then they come back at the end and go, so yeah, that was crazy. Like I hate hearing that phrase these days. Oh, that was crazy. It's like crazy is now the word. Like that's what I'm saying. Like the low tier. That's why if I was in charge of YouTube, I would have a complete
low effort.
Yeah, no, to me it's no effort really, and there would be a few things I would do to change.
I mean, they say that's crazy. That's take a little effort to say that. You got to move your mouth a little bit.
Yeah, true, true. So, but this is what I'll do if I was in charge of YouTube. This is what I would do. I would have 4 tiers of content. Of course, you have your tier 0 content, as in like things you're allowed to post, but YouTube would not be paying for a dime of it. You would have to be calling on your audience to support it. Now, this could be things like your unboxing videos, your reaction channels, I'll say your low effort content, like that would go there. Tier 1 would be kind of, I guess, your news reporting, whatever, it's something that anyone could do by simply pulling up a tab, typing in something, linking a news clip, and then reading it. So then your tier 2 content would be like your conspiracy theories that involve a high amount of like investigative journalism. You have people who are, you have your skilled not just that, but your skills. People who have skills, like whether it's blue collar, you have channels that operate with CNC machining, and you have your lathes and your mills. Because I would give high precedence to anyone who's actually teaching something or showing something that not everyone can do. So that would be like your skilled content, and then your tier 3 content, the king of the pyramid, so to speak, would be like your original music, your original film. So there's people like Corey Kenshin, which I don't watch his content, but he has like his own anime now. People who make their own comics, people who have original stuff like that, they deserve to be at the top. They deserve to catch the algorithm, and so people like musicians who would never usually catch any form of wind, that's something that I would do. And a lot of the family channels today, another thing is that family channels would get banned. Here's why I said the reason why I would say get banned is because if you're trying to make money by putting a child on the internet, well, that child can't consent, and therefore I'll just say no, because I'm not trying to have the Federal Trade Commission banging on my door for COPPA violations. So protect the children by just not allowing children on the internet to begin with. It's problem solved. And then families who usually are exploiting their children, that's where the buck would stop. That's what I would do. And so it would be the best day of the lives for people who are creative. Oh yeah, and that which leads me to the next thing. The AI channels, AI would be allowed for people to clean up their editing, as Bram put it. You would be allowed to clean up your editing. You can clean up your audio to do the equivalent of like bit upscaling, make your audio more crisp and things easier to hear. But beyond that, all these AI channels that are supposedly reporting on science stuff, they have like hundreds of thousands of views or maybe even millions of subscribers. I would ban them all, because you don't get to put up a picture of the Death Star and then talk about outer space and go, wow, we're really paying for this. But then under my regime, it's no longer about watch time. It's about it's about balancing your watch time with other things. And then once you get rid of all the problematic content, you make a bunch of room, and you can essentially you could probably triple everybody's ad revenue. Even for those who have music, you could probably 10x their ad revenue, and you would still virtually be saving the same amount of money. But but then so it would be the best day of people's lives, and then it'll be the worst day of other people's lives. But I think it would balance out pretty darn well, and then we could get rid of all the low tier content and push YouTube to an even higher level. That's what I would do.
Granted, all the low tier content creators, more of them would just go to Rumble and Patreon and all that kind of stuff. So it would still exist. They would have to go to other platforms. You know what I mean?
Well, that's very true. But I have a lot of fantasies though, and I laugh at my own.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even if I get what you were saying about YouTube, even if that worked, there's other platforms that are video streaming. Obviously, they're not as big as YouTube, but I'm just saying, like, people would just be like, okay, screw, I'll just go to Rumble or whatever the hell,
Yeah. So, and these are the kinds of ideas that I like discussing on this channel, because I like this. I like discussing it. That's why I give Brianne a lot of credit, because we can just go. Anyway, but yeah, they would go oh, what's to stop them from going to Rumble and stuff? Well, first of all, Rumble and BitChute and Gab and Odyssey and Storyfire, these other platforms would indeed see a surge of other people, but not necessarily their algorithms are not built the same. See, I am of I am of the opinion, and this is going to sound dark if you're a YouTuber, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm of the opinion that viewers should be somewhat paying the content creators that they're watching. And the reason why I say this is
through views.
I'm sorry?
So through views.
No, I mean pulling out your wallet.
I was joking. I'm joking.
Oh,
I mean, people do that with super chats, memberships, or if you're on Patreon, you gotta pay unless that content creator just chooses to make their stuff free. That's a paid, thing.
Yeah.
So people do pay. You know what I mean?
Because people always talk about, well, we pay people by being there, and I think as a society we got too used to that. Sorry to tell most people, but if you're not a corporation that gets there's actually two tiers.
Yeah, that's why YouTube has so many people watching it though, because it's free.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that's why where I can, I'm like, okay, I got $2 burning a hole in my pocket. I'll send it to somebody. It's like it's not a big deal. It's like, you're gonna pay so when people have to go to a movie theater, do they just go, man, this is bull crap. I don't want to pay for this movie ticket. Just let me in. No.
You can buy a movie on YouTube. It's the same thing. I get what you're saying, but
true.
I mean, independent content creators. I mean, that's kind of it's the way I look at it. It's like you got basic cable, and then you got but back in the day, because nobody really uses cable. But you got basic cable, you got premium cable, and you had satellite, yada yada yada. Basic cable was basically free, but we had ads. What is YouTube? It's free, but you got ads. Now, if you don't want the ads no more, you can pay for YouTube Premium. Well, I don't know what the percentage is, but a percentage of that goes to the content creators, and then Google gets their cut or whatever like that. So it's a similar model to how basic cable used to be.
So the thing is that you have to be, in order to get premium ad revenue, you have to be a corporation or you got to be Hollywood, essentially. Everyone else gets the low tier ad revenue, and that's what? 2 cents for every 1,000 views. Or I think the ad revenue rate went up a little bit in the last few months because they redid their algorithm recently. That's why I was able to get onto YouTube. So the thing is that you still need upwards of 100,000 views to make anything meaningful. I'm talking $50 maybe. But then again, it depends largely on the advertiser and the subject matter being spoken about. There's somebody who talks about celebrity gossip, and they were slamming a pastor, and they got paid for a 4-hour live. They got paid $5,000. $5,500.
Wow.
Meanwhile, they did a video about something else, and they got paid $3,300. But they had to be on live for about 6 hours. That's bonkers.
Yep.
It's like so
It's a
YouTube
job.
has become the new 9 to 5 where I
Yep.
will if I have it going on where it's like, okay, I got enough money to do the things I want to do and need to do and blah blah blah. It's like, all right, like that's why I try to give a super chat once in a while. It's like it's like
Yep.
because I'm like, yo, you're getting unlimited access. Why am and this is me talking to myself. It's like, why are you complaining? I mean, I don't go to movie theaters anymore, and I use the Brave browser and block out all the ads anyway. So no one really so I end up being as much of a ghost to any ad trackers as possible. Because I tried taking my shields down once. I got 4 minutes of ads so I could watch a 3-minute video. I'm like, oh heck no! I turned those shields right back on. So it's like I don't mind
Ad
watching
block, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, it's like also a lot of the ads weren't exactly relevant to me either. So it's like I had so many pop-ups and stuff on my page that I felt my phone warming up. And that didn't stop until I installed the Brave browser, set DuckDuckGo to my default browser, and I use things incognito mode so that no history is ever saved. It's like, oh heck no. Like so and it's not meant to screw over the content creator. It's meant to be like, look, I gotta protect this expensive thing called a smartphone because this thing costed darn near $800. I don't have $800 in my pocket, no. So it's like, so I'll slide you this instead, and even $5 for a YouTube video is usually many magnitudes more than what they would have made through ad revenue. So imagine if every person go to someone's YouTube channel right now and pull up how many subscribers they have. Imagine if every person paid $5 a month for unlimited access to all their content, past, present, and future.
Patreon. That's people be on page like that. That's why everybody's like, hey, go to my Patreon, go to my Patreon, go to my Patreon. I remember when Patreon first kind of popped off and people on YouTube started saying, I'm like, what the hell is Patreon? Once I'm like, oh, okay, I see. But that's the main reason why people try to build up their YouTube, base, because they know obviously everybody's not going to go to Patreon. But if you got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, if you get, let's say, 10% of them to go over there and pay, like you said, $5 per person, and you got 200,000 subscribers, 10% of that is 20,000. Times that by 5. I mean, you're sitting pretty good. You know what I mean? But you got to be able to build that up. That could take, years, depending on, the content and all that kind of stuff,
See,
but yeah.
I don't mind sliding someone a super chat if I got it like that. It's like, if I got it at the time and I see a really good video, I'm not just going to support for free by hitting the like button. Now, here's the thing. All I personally can do is click the like button and leave a comment. I don't have any way of sharing anything except for YouTube. I deleted everything else. I don't have Facebook anymore. I don't have Twitter anymore. I don't have Snapchat. I don't have Kick. I don't have TikTok. I don't have any of the stuff.
Yeah.
So
Instagram.
The only way I could share is the community tab of my own channel where I talk about various things. But the thing is that that's the only way I could talk about anything because I'm not willing to let myself be surveilled for something that they could rip away from me any second. I don't have an Instagram. And I'm kind of glad I don't, considering how Instagram software engineers blatantly admitted that it was coded to get you addicted to it.
Yeah, basically all of them are. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm of the opinion. Yeah, if you got $1.70 something burning a hole, it's like send it out to someone. Like, that ad revenue, like someone's not getting $1 until they've gotten what? I mean, I'm probably getting my math wrong, but someone on YouTube through ad revenue is not getting $1. One, because AdSense doesn't pay out, so you hit $100 anyway. But think about it. To get $1 generated, they have to probably watch a video. 4,000 times, 40,000 times. That's horrific. So yes, I am of the opinion that Blue, you have feedback noise.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you just fine. I think I heard you eating like a bag of chips or something, and you were having some kind of noise. But it looks like you're good right now.
All right.
But I mean, I don't hear anything personally, but my laptop is farther away from my face. So, but yeah, I'm of the opinion that if someone really likes the content, like there's a there's somebody who makes pretty good content. He doesn't make content all the time, but when he does, for me, it's a banger. And his name is James Janney. I watched a lot of his videos about multi-level marketing, self-help gurus, all sorts of things. And I'm like, you know what? I think I like sometimes I do take the shields off and I'll just let the ads play and I'll walk away from my phone. You know, like I'll go get a drink of water or something. And so it's like, if you appreciate a content creator, slide them a few dollars, because YouTube's not paying like that. Like, unless you got some special deals, YouTube's not cutting people many checks. Why? Because it's not possible to cut people many all these multiple checks. Mathematically, everything exists on a bell curve. Some people are going to skyrocket and some people are going to fail. Most people will fail. You know, it's like, and that's not, and it might not even be because of bad content. It's just because there's not enough money to go around.
Huh?
So, but for me, though, YouTube would be in dire need of a makeover. Low tier content would either have to be demonetized or kicked off YouTube completely. No more spilling the tea. No more celebrity gossip. I wonder how many millions would be freed up if these kinds of content creators would have to be forced to step up their game. I wonder. And
it'd be a lot of upset people.
well, and it's not. And again, I'm not saying this to upset them, so to speak. But
no, I'm talking about you. I'm just saying I know how humans are. They would be pissed.
They would be very upset. They'd be very ticked off. Like, you're taking away my YouTube channel. It's like, your channel was trash. I mean, it's like, how many more times do we have to hear about celebrity gossip? I don't want to hear about it. I don't want it shoved in my mentions. Why do you think I protect myself by not logging into my account most of the time? Because I don't want to hear the for the 500th time about what's going on with P. Diddy. I don't care.
Him his baby oil.
I don't care about his baby oil. I don't care. I don't want to hear about Cassie, who I didn't even hear about. See, this entire trial was the first time I heard Cassie's name ever since she shaved her head half bald like many eons ago. Because I forgot about her. I like two songs by Cassie personally. Me and You, waiting, not making to make a move. Yeah, baby, tell me if you like it. And Long Way to Go. That's it. That's it. Apart from that, I don't care. You know, but that's, you know, some people are past their prime. That's okay. Take your millions. Go live a good life. Isn't that why we're supposed to be getting to the bag in the first place, so that we don't gotta work no more? It's like, so I don't want to hear about P. Diddy. I don't want to hear about Jay-Z. I don't want to hear about Drake versus Kendrick. I don't care.
Hey, those songs were fire though. You don't gotta log in to listen to music. I said those songs were fire. You don't gotta log into social media to hear the music.
Well, that's very true. I'm like, some songs can be fire. You know, like there's songs that I believe are like, because the thing is that, like, let's get into hip hop for just a moment. So there's artists where there are songs that I like of theirs more than the mainstream. I'll give you two examples: Childish Gambino and Wale.
They're both mainstream.
I'm sorry.
They're both mainstream artists. They're not underground. They're not underground. You know, I mean, they're not as big as Drake, obviously, but they're
what I mean by mainstream is they're not shoved into the media. They don't have gossip rags that cover them every 10 seconds. They don't have
like
a concert
10 years ago they kind of were, but they kind of fell back. But they're definitely like popular celebrities. Yeah. What it is, I think what your issue is, you don't like celebrity drama. You like celebrities content, whether it be a good movie or I don't know, a book or a song or whatever like that. You just don't care about, oh, this rapper was beefing with this R&B singer. It's like, whatever. What song do they have coming out? What album?
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah. No, those guys are mainstream. They're just not into all the drama stuff. They stay out of the drama for the most part.
Yeah, I like when people stay out of drama. Keep your head down, focus on your music or your whatever your craft is.
Rap beef is a part of hip hop culture. So yeah, that is drama, but that also has been a part of hip hop damn near since hip hop started. So that's a little different. I get what you're saying. Because at the end of the day, that doesn't have anything to do with the music. Because, like, for example, Drake and Kendrick, you could go on Spotify or wherever you go to hear your music and check those songs out without knowing what was going on. You're just like, oh, this song's got a nice beat or whatever, or like the rap lyrics or whatever, and you could have no idea what was going on between those two until you maybe hear one of their names being, mentioned in the song, whatever, like that. But those songs wouldn't have existed if those two weren't beefing. You see what I'm saying? And those are some of the best songs they dropped in like a couple of years. So we kind of needed a little bit of quote unquote drama to get those songs. You just don't have to tune into the drama to hear the song. You could just wait for the song to drop, hear them, and then go about your day.
Yeah, it's like so. I mean, because sometimes I like songs that stimulate my emotions. I'm not gonna front. Sometimes I listen to music to feel something. So I'll give you an example. So I'm going to give you an example on how different I am from most people when it comes to music choice. So here's me. So I turn on Childish Gambino, Flight of the Navigator from the Because the Internet album and go on a long drive through nature and tell me that you don't feel different. And now,
speaking of Childish Gambino, you know what's funny? He actually dissed Drake on his last album.
I know.
So he was in that beef a little bit too.
I knew you were going to mention that too.
So, yeah, I just thought about that. I was like, wait a minute.
It's like, yeah, wait a minute. Like, but it wasn't some mainstream beef. Like when I say mainstream beef, it wasn't some.
I mean, folks did bring it up though. They were like, "Oh, what's going on with you two?" And he just kind of mentioned. I forget what his reason was, but he did talk about it though.
Yeah. So that's one type of example where I listen to Gambino's old stuff, and I listen to a lot of Because the Internet, and and that's the kind of stuff that I like. Now let's switch to Wale. My favorite song by Wale is not Slight Work. It's not. Do I have it on my phone from the Google Play days? Did I spend that $1.29 plus taxes to get it on my phone? Yeah. Because I like a balance of music sometimes, but my favorite song by Wale is The Artistic Integrity on the mixtape About Nothing. I like that song. Now
he was crying about. I think it was either that album or the one before that. He was crying to one of the hip hop outlets for not saying that he's one of the best rappers of the decade or whatever like that. That was a little dramatic moment for him. He had a little beef with. It was like Complex or one of those outlets or whatever.
And that's the thing.
But it was around that time that the album About Nothing came out.
Yeah, it's like because there's the mixtape About Nothing, then there's the album About Nothing.
The album, the one that Jerry Seinfeld was on and all that.
Yeah, so I really liked The Artistic Integrity. I liked how it started. I liked the bars that was in it because I don't want to hear another song about how you had sex with my girlfriend. I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about your Rolex. I don't want to hear about how many Schedule 1 DRUGS that you did. I don't care. I don't want to like save the vain, vapid, and worthless stuff for when like someone calls you to initiate a freestyle. Like save it for that, because then it's like you okay, I could pull some decadence out of my back pocket, like that's fine. But you had time to write this. It's like and that it sends me back to your previous point though, Blue. It's like you mentioned how live this stuff is like, oh well, this is for hip hop. Why do I hate putting it like this? Why do black people need drama to say it's for hip hop? Why? Like that's not something I
was just saying that's been a part of hip hop culture. I didn't say it was needed, but I'm just saying as far as the whole rap beef aspect, that's always been a part of culture. But rock bands, they've had Battle of the Bands, and jazz bands have done that and stuff like that. I think country stars have had issues with each other. It's just it gets blown up in the media when black people beef because that they like to see us fight. I guess I'm not sure, but there's plenty of artists that have had. Hell, Michael and Prince had like a little Cold War for like 30 years, and they ain't they were never hip hop. You know what I mean? So.
Well, I don't hear, but the thing is that I don't hear most of the time about anything other than hip hop. I don't hear about Nickelback getting into a beef.
Yeah, like I said, when black people fight, it tends to go viral more, but that doesn't mean that other genres or races or whatever don't do that. It just tends to.
Hold on, Blue. Hold on, Blue. Tez needs me to drop some knowledge on him. Oh, geez. Bran, are you sure you want that information? Because you might conceive number 2 if you do.
That's probably why they're asking about it. Yeah, that might be the reason.
I'm embarrassed I even know about it. I'm single.
See,
She's like, yes. All right,
yeah, that is
fine.
some goat weed. No, I'll have him a whole basketball team full of
All right,
children.
hold on. Brianne, make sure you check the private chat on StreamYard. I'm dropping it there. Just copy and paste it. There you go. There you go. Don't go wild, you crazy kids. That's what it's called. It's up there, Brianne. It's up there. I just sent it. Do I have to type it again? Women are gonna be like, wait a minute. We're trying to conceive again? Yeah, people are gonna get very frustrated.
That's funny.
Ted's gonna look at Brianne, he's gonna start licking his lips. He's gonna be like, wait a minute.
I saw it because I was typing while it was already there. I didn't see it at first.
Yo, Ted's gonna be like, oh no, my imagination slipped. Yo, it's like I didn't even think Tez would be thinking about it. Tez didn't seem much into that part of the conversation. He's like, oh, all right, that's interesting. I can't, you can't make this stuff up. 15 minutes later, so I'm gonna need you to drop that knowledge bar one more time.
Oh, speaking of when you were asking like why is it always like a big thing when black rappers are beefing or whatever, keep in mind that hip hop is mostly consumed by white people. So, you know, that's also going to be an element. They've always loved to see us fight. So, you know, I mean, not that black people aren't also contributing to, you know, tuning into that. I'm just saying like the biggest consumers of rap music today aren't us. So, you know, I mean, that's going to play a big role in all that kind of stuff too. But, you know, human beings love drama. I mean, if a train or if there's like a car crash or something like that happens, people are going to stop and look. It's just, I don't know, that's just a human condition. Not for every human, but a lot of humans who like to see drama, or we're very curious about it at the very least, even if we don't like it, we're curious. Oh man, what happened? What's going on? Why are they yelling? Why is this?
Look,
That's I don't know. That's just humans.
All I'm going to say is that I never heard, but the thing is that I never heard of like so many people who are like getting into fist fights over Drake versus Kendrick. Here's the thing. I'm going to say something that's going to probably get me.
People are emotional.
What?
They're like football fans. They're emotional.
Yeah,
because football
like,
fans will get into those same fights.
I'm going to say something that's going to probably get me put on some Kendrick person's watch list. I have more Drake songs on my phone than Kendrick. There's 2 songs by Kendrick I like, Swimming Pools and Poetic Justice. So, apart from that, I'm not...
Well, I was going to say, what kind of rap... What kind of rap fan are you, though? Because there's a lot of different types of hip-hop. It would be like saying... when it comes to rock and roll, I listen to more Metallica than, you know, Linkin Park. Well, they're not the same kind of rock groups. You know, I listen to more Nirvana than motherfucking Little Richard or something. You know, it's like, well, yeah, like they're not. That's completely different. It's both considered rock and roll, but you know what I'm saying? It's like there's a different style. So yeah, if your style is more what Drake puts out, which isn't even just purely rap, he's more R&B pop / rap. Then yeah, you would probably like that more. It's just taste. You know, this is like with jazz or R&B, pop, rock, any other genre. You're gonna have subgenres. They're in 2 different subgenres.
Yeah, I never hear jazz musicians getting into beats with each other. Like imagine if like Beethoven.
Oh, they did back in the day.
Chopin.
Jazz is old.
Well, here. Okay, so I'll say it like this though. I have things on every side.
People have died at rock concerts, mosh pits, and fighting. So yeah, no, it goes on.
I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
It's not just hip hop.
I'm just saying that like it. So now, because I think I was trying to instill the idea they didn't exist. So I apologize. I back off on that. But so like
pop culture is just more drawn to black people fighting. That's really what it boils down to. Even if Drake and Kendrick, for example. Even if they weren't rapping, if those 2 just sat down on YouTube and had a debate about why they didn't like each other, you tell me that wouldn't go viral. It's really just 2 black guys are fighting, whether it's verbally, you know, physically or whatever. That, you know, because Bad Baby, whatever her name is, and Travis Barker's daughter, I forget what that white girl's name is, but they're both white female rappers, and apparently they've been beefing like all year. But people don't care because 1, they're nowhere near as mainstream as a Kendrick Lamar or a Drake. Yeah, that's exactly the biggest reason. And 2, they're not black men or black women. If it was Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion, somebody, people would be like, "Oh snap, let's tune in." But two little skinny
I
white
didn't
girls
care about
rapping and
that.
beefing. And I don't take
That
that
like
seriously. But yeah, they've been going at it,
let's
calling
keep
each
it
other all
1,000,
types
bro.
of names and huh?
I'll say this. Let's keep it 1,000. I mean, from my perspective, I didn't care about Nicki versus was it Cardi B or something? It's like, from in my
Yeah.
opinion,
But I'm
Nicki
just
just
saying
got
that went
replaced by
more
a younger
viral than
model.
Bad Baby and them.
Right. I get you. I got you. I know what you're talking about. I'm saying, for the sake of dark humor, I'll just say Nicki Minaj got upset that someone found a replacement with more plastic
Oh
surgery.
yeah, she got completely said more
Like,
had more BBL surgery.
she got replaced with a younger model, which was I think
Yeah.
I think Cardi B replaced Nicki Minaj because she was younger, and then Cardi B got replaced by like Megan Thee Stallion. Then Megan Thee Stallion got replaced
And
when
then
people got sick
Ice
of her by
Spice.
Ice Spice. Yep. So you and I
Mhm.
are on the same wavelength at that.
Yeah.
So like let's keep it 1,000. Everybody was people were like, yo, I don't care about the words you're rapping. I just want to see you bust that open. Like, that's all I want to see. All right.
Yeah, they're
like,
basically strippers who rap. That's
Yep.
it.
And they don't even write
I
their own
think Cardi B
lyrics.
literally actually was a stripper. So
All right, so wait a minute. Before I continue, all I want to say is Brianne went real quiet after I dropped that pill name.
Hey, we head to the store right now. Don't play with me. No, I'm just
Oh,
joking.
no.
I wanted to say,
I told you.
You went to the store? You don't
I'm
get
trying
that
to
from...
talk this baby. Keep yelling. Oh my god.
Wait a
Hey,
minute.
That's funny.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me
hey,
get this.
X. Can you hear me, X?
I barely. You sound far away as heck.
Yeah.
I'm about to...
Can y'all hear me? Something happened?
I can hear you. It's Brianne that sounds far away.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm about to say... I'm gonna put a link in the private chat for Brianne. What? I'm about to be the reason why Brianne gets pregnant for the second time. All right. So we're really doing this. Okay. What the things I do for love.
Is that a Bobby Caldwell song?
You got to get it.
Yeah, they're gonna end up having triplets because of that.
I would do anything for love. I'm gonna bring this thing up. Brianne, if Tez is out, go ahead and tell him to come home. I'm just gonna send you guys a link from Amazon. Make sure you got it right. Tell him come home. Get this John from online.
I appreciate it. No, I wanted to I gotta get out of here. I wanted to make sure I asked you both. So Blue first, what do you want the topic of the next show to be?
Of the next show, I'm trying to remember what I said. Last time. Dang, I mean, I guess you can just keep it on. Yeah, I forgot what I said, but whatever I said last time, you gotta go back to the last video because I don't remember.
Oh, the other live, it's not posted because I think someone said a non-YouTube friendly name, so I can probably find it, but no one else can find it.
You said whose name? It was what?
All right, so Brianne, I'm gonna let you know that I posted the link. I posted the link for that particular thing for you and Tez. The link is in the description. You got to get it organic, or you're wasting your money. Just please don't try to conceive prematurely.
They about to have triplets, man.
Okay.
All right, so you guys have a good one. I'm gonna get.
Oh no, the baby's too. We're in the safe zone. Girl.
Baby's gonna have a sibling. All right, cool. You guys have yourselves a good one. I need to get me some AC because my room is getting hot. Peace out.
All right, take care. I'll see you in the next one. We're about to close it out. Any last thoughts
peace.
before we get out of here?
I guess peace, love, and hair grease, and don't go too crazy with them pills.
Hey, we appreciate you, Blue. See you in the next one. The baby's screaming in the background, but we appreciate you.
Not open.
Yeah, no problem.
See you soon.
Not open.
We're literally minutes away from our destination. The baby is going off. I appreciate you guys. We have another live to do soon. and it's a lot easier now that I have the setup going. All right, take care. See you in the next one. Bye.